All right. There you go, sir. You're ready to rock. What? There's your mouse.
So you come in the office when I'm done?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Good morning. Do we have anybody waiting?
No, not yet.
Where's it going to indicate?
It'll come up on the top of the screen.
In the middle of the screen?
Yep.
Excellent.
And I'm sure they'll call and yell at me if we don't put them in.
And then click. Awesome. And how do I go back? If I need to go back?
Right click.
And please. Awesome. Got it.
There you go. Thanks, sir.
Well, good morning. I appreciate y'all being here. Even if it's just the two of you for now, and whoever gets here, who's going to get here. But my name is Brian, if you don't know me. I've been in real estate 4 years. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been in real estate for 4 years. I started in 2017. You're very welcome. Started out as an individual agent and did that for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And then I was asked to join Team Navigators and did that for 4 months. So I was asked to join Team Navigators at the time. Good morning, Rhonda. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear.
Beautiful. I don't have to speak up too loud. I was just introducing myself. But I'm Brian Verberne. I'm on Team Navigators as a buyer's agent. I've been in real estate for about 4 years. January made 4 years for me. And I have my background before that, in my previous life, I was in banking. I was a retail manager at Capital One and then a very short stint at Resource. So I love what I do now. So you guys just take 30 seconds, introduce yourself so I know who I'm working with, and we'll get started.
Go first.
Yeah,
I'm Steve LaBrosse. I'm new to real estate, and I think this is my 5th week.
Okay, awesome. Good deal.
Renee Huff, started back July 1st of 2019.
Dual career.
Which
Yeah.
is very challenging.
Yeah.
Because it makes it harder to really dive in, but I'm hoping to change that this year.
Awesome.
And I've worked with Pier 1 for 20 years.
Okay.
Of course, they closed, so now I don't work with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I enjoy the face-to-face contact with people and just helping people, guide them through,
Beautiful.
things that they don't know.
Beautiful. Rhonda, you want to tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell the rest of us. They may have seen you in class before. This will be my first time.
They mostly see my my name on the screen. I take care of my dad. He's 89. He's, a fall risk, got COPD and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I just finished getting his breakfast and everything. So I'm ready to start class. But
No worries.
for this, I worked for DR Horton for about 3 years, and before that I worked for DSLD. I got my license back in 2014, but most of the time I was working for the builders, and now I'm expanding out into general real estate. So I'm looking for all the little tidbits from, you guys.
Awesome. Hey, great. Good deal. Well, we're going to keep this pretty light. I'm going to do my best to stick by the guide, the facilitator. I've got the facilitator guide here in front of me, and I have y'all's guide on my computer screen here. So we're going to do our best to kind of stick by that. If we have squirrel moments where we need to get off topic on a particular section of this, then we'll do that. We'll go down that rabbit hole as we need to. And just, I want you guys to be able to ask whatever questions that you've got, and we'll just go from there. We're gonna have a good day. You guys are adults, so if you got to get up, you got to go to the bathroom or whatever. Rhonda, if you got to step away, you got to do what you got to do, right? I'll try not to keep you past 12, so hopefully we'll finish a little bit early with it being a smaller group, so that's good. Some of this I'm going to read, so y'all bear with me. Here we go. Introduce ahas, right? you guys are doing some daily things, right? Some daily success stuff, right? Is that new? Expectations, we talked about that. Celebrate successes from yesterday's daily success habit. So what are you guys doing daily that you guys are learning from Ignite on a daily basis? What are you doing? Anything?
Well, the other day I was with the marketing class that Stephanie Neese had done, and when I saw that she was facilitating that, I was like, oh, I'm going, because I know she's like the main.
That's my fellow team navigator.
Right? So ever since then, I got back into the campaigns.
Yeah.
I had done it 2019 when it was very new,
Yes.
and so things have changed then.
Oh, yes.
But thankfully, I mean, I can see the results within
Yes.
that first day.
Yep.
And jumping on Facebook Marketplace again,
Good.
and really getting back into the groove of, just talking to people when they respond and like posts, and try to get them onto a trickle effect of keeping contact with them and just being in front of them.
Awesome.
So that's going to be my new daily.
Yes.
Getting in front of people.
If you haven't already, I know that some of you are new, some of you've been in it for a year or two, but embrace coming in the best you can. It's bumpy, it's rocky, it looks ugly sometimes, but I'm telling you, it's gonna, as things continue to improve, and as we learned from family reunion, they're going to kind of hold back on rolling out new stuff, making and focus on making the stuff that we have better, which I think is a great plan. To kind of take out some of that bumps and things that we run into. So that's cool. There's my mouse. There it is. So what kind of opportunities you guys see for yourself? I mean, you're new to real estate. Rhonda, you've been in it on a different side for a while. Now you're getting into it for yourself and less for the builders, which is awesome. Love that. What kind of opportunities are you seeing for yourself? What did you do before, Steve?
I was in the restaurant business.
Okay. All right.
Didn't like it very much.
All right.
I just did it. I didn't realize that I got tired of it.
Yeah.
And I was burnt out. So anyway, what I take from Ignite is every time I start concentrating on running my business, I said, that's good. I need to grow my business because I don't have any.
Right. Right.
So like I told you when I was telling Anthony, I started door knocking because I'm not prospecting enough. Just not enough. I mean, the database isn't nearly enough. Right. So I need a prospect, and how do I do that? I said, well, door knocking. And like I told you, the first day was a disaster.
Door knock, call people in your phone.
The second day,
friends,
day was a lot better. So I can see myself doing that a lot more.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Good deal. Well, the focus today, our focus is on using the buyer consultation to get a signed buyer representation agreement, which is one of the first steps in to closing with a buyer and getting paid. You guys are using that, right? A buyer rep agreement. You've seen what that looks like, yes? Okay. I have printed some copies of Team Navigators just so that you guys can review that. Rhonda, before the end of the day, if you will, I'll give you my phone number. You can text me your email address, or you can go and find me and email me, and I'll email it to you so that you'll have the same things that these guys here. So you'll get all the same materials. What successful agents do. So that's what we're looking at. The goal of what we're going to be doing today is we're going to learn how to prepare, deliver the buyer presentation agreement, and kind of what that looks like, and trying to take the scariness out of asking commitments from your potential buyers. Why do you think it's important to get the buyer representation agreement signed? There's no right or wrong answer. This is just good conversation.
They understand that you're not making any money, that this is a relationship of correlation. We each have our part, but to be dedicated, to my ability to help you.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So what I hear Renee saying is that it kind of sets good expectations of what you're going to do as a buyer, right? You're going to do these things, bullet 1, bullet 2, bullet 3. And as an agent, this is what I'm gonna do. So everybody's got their responsibilities and their own goals, and it spells that out on that agreement, right? And ours does too for team navigators. We modified ours just a little bit. But ours does the same thing, sets proper expectations, right? Without the signed buyer agreement, you know, you could spend a long time with a buyer showing houses, working, who ultimately goes and works with somebody else, right? And you don't really have anything to kind of hold on to. Excuse me. With the buyer's rep agreement, you can at least say, you know, it's an agreement. They've made that agreement to your face. They have something signed. Good morning. Should they decide or someone else, another agent, get involved, you've got something in hand that says, hold on, wait a minute, not so fast, right? This is my client. We've had conversations. They've agreed to work with me. And so there you've got something with some teeth to kind of hold on to your client, right?
Does that happen?
It does happen. It does happen. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, but you want to, with that, set proper expectations up front. It kind of takes that out of it. I find the buyer represents the buyer agreement helps keep other agents away, right? So I oftentimes, when I'm working with somebody new, or if I get a lead, are you working? One of the questions I'll ask is, are you working with someone now? Have you signed anything with another agent? Yes, I have. Well, then I'm sorry, you need to go back to your agent and talk to them, or ask them these questions about this property, or ask them to show you this property. It's not right for you to come through me, for me to show you the property, right?
Just get a lot of that with.
Sometimes.
With the generation,
yeah. So people they don't want to quote unquote bother their own agent, but they don't mind bothering me to go see a property. I call their agent and say, hey, listen, your client reached out to me to see this property, so you might want to reach out. Right? So I find it's more effective for other agents, not necessarily for my client, but it kind of keeps other agents at bay. I've got an agreement signed, so hands off, right? So it doesn't happen a lot, but you're going to run into it. So, you know, get it, build a relationship with your clients, because you will see that. So this is where we are, right? Growing business. We've done some lead generation. You guys have talked about listing presentations and getting the listings. Now we're talking about buyers. I work with buyers on our team. I prefer buyers personally. That's just a personality thing with buyers. It's a lot more face-to-face. I find more consistency. Could be for weeks, could be for months. I like building the long-term relationships, but that's me. Right. And so, done that, right? Set the appointment. Page 5 in your participant guide should be kind of where we are. So what are your goals? So you're going.
I don't think I have that guide with colors.
Oh, you know, it's on.
Do you have the facilitator guide printed out? I mean
The toolkit.
Yeah, you know,
Go to what, like,
I'll go to Keller Williams Connect.
Okay.
Let's see.
KW.
is it training?
I think so. Let's see. I just do it and I don't really think it's still.
92.0.
So I'm not in the PC department anymore, so
Oh, you can do it. I can actually print it off.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm on Connect training, maybe it's a personal
No,
Ignite 2.0 lab.
Yeah. Go to materials.
other materials.
Scroll down. And you want buyer.
You see it?
Not yet.
All right, but here we go.
Buyer.
Thank you. Perfect.
How are you doing,
I'm
Renee?
good.
Good, thanks.
Good job. I'm sorry. Introduce yourself.
I'm Natalie.
Natalie. Very
Yeah.
good to see you, man. Natalie. I'm Brian.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Very nice to
Brian.
meet you.
Thank you. So are you in Hammond or in Mandeville? or-
So I primarily work out of the Mandeville
Okay.
office. I live in Goodby, up
Okay,
that direction,
Yeah.
Off 1077.
yeah, well,
Uh,
that's handy coming from.
It's a pretty even split. Either
Yeah.
you're driving south and fighting the
Oh,
traffic
I
to
know.
Mandeville, or I can take 190 coming here.
Yeah.
It takes about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But with COVID and all, it's been a minute since I've been in this location. But
Yeah.
cool. All right. We were talking about what's your goals once you get to the consultation appointment, right? You're going to sit with a buyer. What are you trying to do? What are some of the things that you're trying to get out of that appointment?
See where they are in the buying process.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
You need to know what stage they are.
What more specific?
What's their motivation?
Good one. Like that.
Have they seen?
Rhonda, I want you to chime in now. You have to take yourself off of mute. I don't mind the background noise.
Okay.
A lender? Have they? talked
Great
to a
question.
lender?
Great question. Awesome. Lender,
If otherwise-
right?
Right, why pursue it?
You're wasting your time
Yeah.
and theirs.
Yeah.
And I'll get into that a little bit later, hopefully. Hopefully there's some places in here about lenders. You need to discover what they want, right? Or what they believe they want, right? Some of their needs, values of the buyer, what do they hold near and dear. A husband and wife only, they're going to want different things in their home than somebody with a husband and wife and 3 or 4 or 5 kids and 2 dogs and 8 cats and right.
Right.
So those needs are going to be totally different. So having that conversation up front in your consultation, it's going to be a big help. It's going to help you, right? Take notes, whatever you're doing, and then to get you a piece of paper. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you. So it doesn't have to be all nice and neat, one line at a time. When I write a note, it's sideways across the page, and I'm finding an empty spot, and I'm jotting a note, right? 'Cause I'm the only one that has to understand it, right? You want to deliver your value proposition, why you're going to be a good fit for them. You're also going to want to make sure that you're setting good expectations, right? So when you go over your loyalty agreement, what their roles are, what your roles are, right? Set good expectations about how you like to reach out to each other. Do you prefer phone? Is a text message okay? How late in the evening is it appropriate for me to send text messages to you?
Yeah.
On the receiving side, as the agent, listen, if you send me a text message at 8 o'clock at night, I'm not gonna respond to you. I have a family at home and kids I'm trying to get to bed, and you need to set good expectations. If you allow them to text you at 8 o'clock and you respond, they take that as an okay. I can text her or him at any time in the evening that I want to.
I purposely don't respond to people, even though I know I can, but I'm
You
like,
should
no,
tell them up front.
Yeah.
I'm not going to respond. I will get with you the next day, right? Or something really quick. I can't look into it now. I'll look at it tomorrow morning. Right? The house is not falling apart yet.
You're
So
teaching
we're
them how to.
exactly how to communicate
Right.
with you, right? And they're going to do the same thing for you,
Uh-huh.
right? You also want to get the buyer representation agreement. I like to refer to it. Ours is titled for team navigators is titled a loyalty agreement. They agree to work with me, and I agree to work with them, right? Because it's binding, quote unquote binding. It is an agreement, right? They agree to do this. So we call it a loyalty agreement. For that, we're going to be loyal to each other and do what we have to get through the process. What do you feel like that you need to do to prepare for the meeting?
Prepare for the meeting, have
Yeah.
like your buyer's exclusive agent
Yep.
agreement, loyalty agreement.
Yep.
Have the buyer's analyst, well, see, I kind of have my packets in a few different ways. So it just depends on, who I'm talking to and how it's gonna go. But, so just have those options on the table to bring with you the customer information form if they wanna, pursue.
Yep.
Yeah, it just depends on where they are. So you're kind of trying to see where they are in the process and what kind of personality, if they're one that's, okay, give me papers, or if they're one that's, okay, let's take this slow. So you got to kind of read them,
Yes.
And how are you finding with COVID, how are you presenting these papers to them? Are you doing it through an email, DocuSign? Are you meeting in person? Like what have you found that you're?
So personally, I follow their lead, right? I like face-to-face, one, because when you're talking face-to-face, you can provide inflection and body language and eye contact, and there's so much more. There's so much that goes into a buyer consult, right? The phone, a text message is so difficult, right? I wouldn't recommend doing a buyer consult or a text message. That can get long and wordy, right? Face-to-face, go do a Zoom. I've done some Zooms here lately, it makes it so easy. You can read body language, you can read eye contact, even if it's in a computer screen, right? There's so much that can be said in the inflection of your voice, right? Desire, loyalty, trust, all of that stuff can be done. So Zoom has been helpful. I've done, even with people that I've met before, to go over the process. We looked at a property, they want to write an offer, great, let's do a Zoom. Let's review some of the contracts. Let's review some of the numbers, right? This is what we're going to be looking for. I need some information from your lender, right? So on and so forth. But it's going to take some of the guesswork out of it. You're going to be able to provide and show them trust and confidence and can build that relationship so you don't have any trouble and you kind of eliminate some things down the
And where are you meeting with them? Because that's my biggest fear is I just don't want to meet strangers anywhere, and at the office, it may not be convenient, to meet people at the office, or maybe I guess go to a coffee shop or somewhere public, but I just don't want to meet people at their houses.
Both men and women both get assaulted, right? So it's not I'm pretty confident in myself. I personally have trained in martial arts for 5 years. So I feel like personally I can take care of myself if I meet people at their house. I would recommend a public place. Push for them to meet here at the office during the day. Have somebody come with you, right? I have offered my services to go to on showings with people, people who are unsure, they don't know the client, have somebody sit in the car, wait outside, whatever the case is, whatever it's going to make you feel more comfortable.
So it's okay to take like someone else, just have them sit in the car or something while you go do your
Sure,
thing.
absolutely.
Okay.
Your safety is number one, right? No client is worth your
That's what's
safety.
been holding me back. It's like I'm very,
Okay.
I can do this. It's just now when I get to that point, I'm like, great. Am I
Get
gonna
'em
die today? I just-
Get them in the office. Get them in the office.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Client, it's my policy that the first time we meet together is we meet at the office.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that you and I can both get to know each other, so that you know who you're working with and I know who I'm working
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
with, right?
I
So
like
I've set expectations.
that. Mhm.
It's our first visit. We don't know each other. We need to build a little bit of trust. We do that here in the office. It's a public space. There's more than one person in here coming and going. If you have to meet outside of the office, if it's a weekend, I say go to a coffee shop.
Mhm.
There's people coming and going. It's a public place. The Wi-Fi is there. You can get on your computer. You can print out a few things beforehand if you
Do you
have
do that
to.
with listing appointments too? or
I would do it
absolutely?
anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime you need to
Meet
meet.
somebody for the first time.
I think so.
Okay, good.
I think so. Listings are going to be a little bit different because obviously if you've not had if you've not talked to them at some length to figure out who they are on the phone, you got to see their house to be able to price it
Right.
accordingly, of course. So I would say change it up a little bit, maybe bring someone with you, and you don't know them. Obviously your safety is important. Bring somebody with you. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Right? Agents in this office will go with you. I have
Right.
no doubt somebody will go and sit in the car or
Yeah.
be it.
I'll just get my ring of people.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, get a
Yeah.
family member to go
I'll
with
give
you.
my number.
You know what? And it doesn't matter. You guys can pair up and you
Yeah.
can go. Absolutely. One,
Uh-huh.
you can critique each other and help each other out.
I know, I think that would be great.
Be a fly on the wall,
Yeah.
take some notes. When you get back in the car going, hey, look, you did this great, you did this great. You were a little iffy on this. It didn't show quite so much confidence here.
Yeah.
Take that as some constructive criticism. Give each other permission to critique each other in a positive, constructive way. You did this great. You might need a little improvement in this area over here, but you did great. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Right.
I think that's where I've been, pausing.
yeah, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
can do the work. I just need to get
Yeah.
people.
For buyers, it's definitely easier to get them to
Yeah.
come here. But if you have to go to their house for the listing appointment because you're trying to compete, then you need to make sure you bring somebody.
Right, okay, thank you,
Definitely go in the daytime hours,
right,
right?
for sure.
Don't go in, don't do anything after hours. Setting the appointment. So you guys are doing your prospecting, you're doing your marketing, right? You've cultivated, you've kind of gone through this, the leads, the contacts you've cultivated, you're trying to set the appointment. Right? So now you've got a buyer who's ready to go, ready to meet with you, ready to move on. So it's time to close for the appointment, right? At this time, you're going to want to make sure that you add or update the opportunities in your command, right? So if you guys aren't in command, you're not using it 100%, I encourage you to do that. Our team went 100% command a year and a half ago when it rolled out. It was ugly. Much better now. It's ugly. It was ugly from the perspective of everything didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
But you got to make a commitment at some point to say, we're all in. We're going to do it, right? And work through some of the ugliness.
Yeah.
Go all in. So you need to update your command, right? And make sure that that is where it needs to be, and that everything, you've got all the information in there. You've got some notes in there for yourself. Maybe you've set a future task, and you've also moved the opportunity from one place to the next. They're no longer in cultivate, they're now set the appointment. That's where we're headed, right? It helps keep you on track. Yes, and it actually says here what we just talked about. Safe option is to schedule a buyer consultations in your office or conference room in the market center, right? So we've got a couple different locations. We've got this location. There's a place in A&E that you can go to that's got a conference room. You can always go to Manville, right? You can always text the office and reserve a room if you need to. I do that all the time, so that you can make sure that you've got a safe place to meet. And plus you have all the equipment if you need it, right? So that you guys can use that. All right, setting the appointment. Going to do some role model best we can, right? The goal of the buyer consultation appointment is a signed buyer agreement, right? You guys have agreed to work with each other. That's awesome. And you're going to go start looking at houses. Setting the tone for the closing, the buyer agreement begins with the invitation to meet. If you would turn to page 14 in your elemental script book. Do you have a script book that you guys are using? A script?
Ooh. I know you're coming that way.
We got to role play it, right?
Scripts.
I have a bunch of different script books, like which one are we doing?
This says elemental script book. I did not pull a copy of that.
I don't think I have that.
I wonder where that's available. It must be available
It's gotta
somewhere.
be in the connection, you know.
Oh,
Let's see.
okay,
I'm
yeah,
assuming,
yeah.
yeah, I'm assuming it should be there.
Okay.
My scripts end at page 12, the one I have.
All right. So we're going to do a role play then. We don't have that readily available to us.
Okay.
I don't have it readily available to me. So who wants to volunteer to role play? This is a safe place. This is a safe environment, right?
Are we recorded? No.
Forget the fact that we're being recorded, right? And who wants to make a phone call, pretend phone call to an
Steve is
agent?
really good about that.
Right, I want the person who's, all right, so you
He's
get
not
so
good.
you're volunteered, right, because you volunteered someone else, right? So it's
Okay,
okay,
Brian.
it is okay to be ugly in here. This is a safe place, right, Rhonda? This is a safe place.
Right.
Hello all and welcome. All right, role play. Who wants to role play? You want to role play? Who do you want to be?
So I'm gonna be calling.
Yeah, you want to be the agent? Or you want to be the,
Can I be
everybody's
the
gonna get a
owner? Can I
turn.
be the homeowner?
Sure, you can be the homeowner,
Okay.
right? You're wanting to buy. Renee, you want to participate?
Sure.
I'll put you on the spot. Everybody's gonna get a turn today. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So all you want to do is You want to try to set the appointment,
All right, so
right?
she's
Yeah, she's
interested
gonna
in
call you.
purchasing a home and I'm calling
Yeah,
her.
she's gonna call you.
Okay.
She's the buyer. She's the potential buyer. Ready? Go.
What's your name again? Rhonda?
Natalie.
Natalie. Why did I say Rhonda?
That's
Rhonda's up here.
All
Yep.
right. Let's see, okay, ring, answer. Hi Rhonda, my name is Renee Huff. I'm with Keller Williams Realty Services. I'm reaching out to you. I know you had inquired about some information of a home I had posted on Facebook.
Yes.
How can, what's your questions? How can I help you?
Well, I am, I'm looking to purchase probably in about 3 months. And it's just my husband and myself. We're looking for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And what other information do you need?
Well, do you have to sell a house in order to get this next house?
I do.
You do? All right. Do you know around about how much you owe on it, or is it paid off?
I owe about 30,000.
About 30,000. Okay, well that's good. And what price range are you thinking of being in? Do you know? Have you gone with a lender yet? Do you know where you are?
No, I haven't gone with a lender. We're looking to probably spend about 190.
All right. And at 190, well, I'll just X that. Just pretend I didn't say that.
Yep.
What areas are you looking at?
We would like to stay right within the city limits of Covington.
All right. And why that area? What's bringing you to the city limits of Covington? Is your home right now in that area?
It is.
It is. Okay. So you just enjoy it. Are you downsizing or?
I'm in a condo and I'd really like a yard.
Okay, that's awesome. Alrighty. Well, when can we meet up? I would like to go over more of this with you. I have Tuesday, 2 or 3. What's the best time?
3
for
on
you?
Tuesday would be great.
3 on Tuesday. And can you meet at the office, or would you like to go get a coffee or meet up like that?
How about the office?
The office, all right. Are you familiar with where the Keller Williams office is?
Mhm.
All right, great. Well, I'm gonna shoot you a little reminder text, so look out for that.
Okay.
And I'll see you then.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks, Renee.
Great questions. Love it. Good job. Way to go. Kudos. Right?
What else should I have
So,
gotten?
so no,
Brian,
no, it's no worries.
call me,
Judy.
call me,
Yeah.
I'm the buyer.
Judy's
Oh.
gonna be the difficult buyer.
All right. So I
I'm
got
gonna put
a.
my feet up, so I'll be relaxed.
All right. So I got a
She's at
lead,
home,
right?
she's on the couch, she's good.
So, right. So I got a lead, right? Got a phone number.
Uh-huh.
And this is gonna be on the things that have happened.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna make a phone call,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Here we go.
Yeah, she was nice. She didn't give me the
I
runaround.
know. I
You were the
know.
nice one.
Right.
Right. Ooh, now she's got me on the spot,
The
right?
ones we want.
She's got me on the spot. All right, here we go. Ring, ring.
Hello,
Hey, good afternoon. This is Brian Verberne with Keller Williams. I'm looking for Judy.
this is she.
Hey, Judy. How are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Good. Good. Judy, I'm just calling. I'm following up with, you had inquired about one of our properties. Uh-oh.
Baby's crying.
No worries.
Hold on just a second.
No worries.
Okay.
Sure. You good?
Yeah,
Got a baby?
Yeah,
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 perfect. Good deal.
I gave her a banana.
Excellent. My kids always love bananas. So Judy, I'm just following up with you. You had inquired about one of our properties and just wanted to talk to you about what you were looking for. Make sure you got all your questions answered.
Remind me which property, I've called about so many.
That's no problem. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that property?
Is that the one in Covington?
It is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's got the little, it's got the red door,
Mhm.
blue shutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what questions did you have about that?
Well, I have a baby, as you
Yeah.
can hear,
Mhm.
and I was just wondering, is that on a busy street?
On a busy street, well, it can get a little bit of traffic on it. Sometimes people will cut through the neighborhood if the stoplight is taking too long.
Mhm.
Yeah, is that it? You've got more than one child. I know you've got the one, so you're
And
concerned about
I'm
people.
expecting with another one.
I see. So you've got a growing family. You want to make sure that the street's not too busy.
Yeah, I want a safe area.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Yeah. There's plenty of areas that are nearby that is going to be probably a little better suited for you. You've got that particular home looks great. With a growing family, you may want to consider maybe a 3-bedroom might work a little bit better. At some point, you're going to need, you may want the larger space. I'd love.
That makes sense. Do you have any 3-bedroom, 2 baths with a yard?
We do.
We have a dog.
We do, and I'm sure that we can find some of that. What I'd like to do, Judy, is I'd like to do a little bit of research on that. Maybe we can meet face to face. I can kind of show you some of the things that we've that I've found, and then I can get into it a little bit more about some more specifics.
Okay.
Would that be all right?
That sounds good.
Beautiful. So on my calendar, I've got Wednesday afternoon or Friday morning.
Oh, Wednesday's good.
Great. Judy, are you able to meet here at the office?
Um,
This is our first time to really kind of get to know each other. And so being, you don't know who I am and I don't know who you are, this is a good place for us to meet. We can kind of get to know each other a little bit and build a little bit of trust.
I'd rather meet at McDonald's or Taco Bell or something like that.
That's awesome. How about a coffee shop? Because I can use an afternoon jolt of caffeine.
Oh, that sounds good.
Perfect.
Which one?
Feel free to, we'll meet at PJ's.
Okay.
Perfect. Feel free to bring whomever you need to. If you've got a significant other that just wants to be there to make sure that you're safe and has any questions, feel free to bring whoever you need. Sounds great. All right, man. Well, I'll see you Wednesday afternoon at the PJ's there on the corner.
Okay, you didn't ask me about financing at all.
Nope.
Why?
Because I like to do it face to face.
Okay.
I like to do that face to face. I've got lenders that I like to use, but I can also stress while I'm face to face is, hey, listen, I have people that I work with. You are free to use whomever you want, right? I work for you. I'm not able to tell you you have to work with certain people, but I would recommend these people. I do that face to face, the lender information.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That way it
they
doesn't seem so
Financial?
binded
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
away, right?
this is an opportunity. I see that consultation as an opportunity to build trust,
Mhm.
to build some loyalty. They can read my inflections when I'm asking about it. I don't want to seem too overly aggressive.
Mhm.
Setting the appointment is the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got the
Yeah,
appointment.
I'm so
She-
like check marks,
I've built
don't
the
need to hold
appointment.
back.
She can bring whomever she wants,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't matter to me who she brings. She knows that I'm doing that from a perspective of she's safe.
Right.
It's a public space.
Mhm.
I'm safe. We don't know each other.
Mhm.
That's how that I approach that. The goal is to set the appointment.
Mhm.
I got the appointment set Wednesday
Right.
at 3 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
At
And they almost
PJ's.
feel
Anything
obligated
else
since
they
they
want to
mentioned.
back volunteers laying there?
Yeah, right. So I know she's got a couple of kids, or she's got one at least she's expecting.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be on a busy street. I know
Do a little
she's,
research.
Mhm.
let people talk. If you shut up for a minute and let
Yeah.
people talk,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
They will give you more information than you asked for.
Right.
Always, always, always.
Yeah.
It's like, right? So I'm not gonna say it, but it'll just come out. They'll just
Right.
spew it out.
Right.
You're just there on your scratch sheet of paper,
Yeah.
just taking notes everywhere you got a
Yeah.
blank spot.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure
just fill it
it's
in.
more effective to approach them about, whether they've spoken with the lender when
And
you're
one,
face to
one of the
face.
last questions that Mo Anderson likes to ask is there anything else that I should have asked you that I didn't?
Uh-huh.
That you would like me to know?
That's a good
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Okay, that was fun.
Good deal.
Thank
That
you.
was fun, thank you.
She was great at the role playing.
Do you
Yeah.
have more questions?
That's because, we use our scripts, right? And scripts are nothing more than just a prepared response.
Yeah.
That's all they are. Way back when I was in banking, we tried to roll out scripts whenever we made phone calls and it was awkward. We didn't understand them. It felt
Uh-huh.
too rehearsed,
Mhm.
right? But my scripts now sound so relaxed, right? They just sound so natural, and it's because it is.
You want some coffee? I'm gonna make a cup of
No, ma'am,
coffee.
thank you. I just had one.
Okay.
I just had one.
I have
Um,
my,
would you
my
like
Bang
some?
Energy, sugar-free Bang
Okay.
Energy that I'm
Steve, I
sipping
know
all
you
the
can
time.
get your one cup.
All right, so preparing your presentation, right? Your buyer consult. You're gonna go into designs and command
So-
to create yours.
Could we go back to the role playing a little more?
Yes, sure.
So, You really, I mean, you're letting them speak as much as they want. You're gaining information, but the main objective is just to get the
The
appointment.
main objective is to get the appointment. Yeah, you don't want to, it's not gonna take, it shouldn't take an hour and a half, it shouldn't take an hour on the first conversation to get an appointment.
Right.
Right,
But they're obviously interested.
they are. And she began to ask me some questions, which was great.
Right.
And I volunteered, hey, I know that you're looking for this. I know you're looking for this. Let me see what I can find that's going to get some of that. And then when we meet face to face, I can show you what I found.
Right. And we go from there.
Yeah, I like how you said, let me do a little bit more research, because sometimes when you talk with people, they assume that you know everything.
Right off the bat.
Like,
I
why don't
don't.
you know this?
And you know what? Me
Like-
personally, I don't want to come across as the person that knows everything.
Yeah.
I do want to come across as the person that can get the answers for you.
Right. Mhm.
I don't know the answer, because when I'm showing houses, they'll ask me, I have no idea. I don't know. What flood zone is it? Let me confirm it. Now I'll get back with you.
And that way that forms that rapport and that
I'm not-
connection.
And that way you know what you're
I am an
talking
expert
about.
in real estate, right? I'm not an expert on your house, on that individual house, right? You're not gonna know it all, and it's best just to say, hey, I don't know it all,
Yeah.
and try to get what you can. But anyway, being as prepared as you can, taking what they volunteered, information on that
Taking
first
notes.
conference.
Like when she
Yeah,
mentioned about the baby.
great, absolutely, taking your notes, and then you can go back and pull up a few houses, and maybe you'll find one that's actually works well. In that situation, you know, they don't want to be on a busy street. They're gonna have kids in the yard. They might have a dog. Maybe it's a fenced yard that's important. You don't know a whole lot more other than that, but you know she's got a growing family, and so maybe a 2-bedroom isn't quite right.
Yeah.
Maybe something a little bit bigger. Maybe you can bring 3 or 4 listings of both, and then just kind of go over them, and you're going to get them to narrow down in your consultation about what it is. Oh, I like this one. I don't like the way that one looks. I like the big front porch on the back. This one's got a great back.
Yeah.
So you taking mental notes when you meet face to face, or are you
Yeah,
taking notes
so
too?
I take notes in front of them. Hey, listen, while you're talking, when I'm face to face in a coffee shop, hey, listen, I'm listening to you. I need to write down some of the things that you're saying. It's going to make me do a better job for
Oh, I'm
you.
sure they would appreciate it.
So I'm just going to jot down some notes. It's nothing. You're more than welcome to read them. It's just notes to help me remember when I get back to the office what I'm supposed to be doing for you. Do you mind? Is that going to be a problem for you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Go right ahead. Take note. Write it down.
Do you find people?
Don't write sentences.
Yeah.
You need 2 words that's going to remind you. 2 bed, 2 BR,
Mhm.
Yeah.
3 bed, right? Abbreviate it.
Right.
Kids,
Mhm.
schools, big circle.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Right? That's going to tell me, okay, I need to pay attention to where the schools are because she wants to be close, or she wants a particular school.
Mhm.
So schools,
Uh-huh.
circle it, check mark, something, stars.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So take your notes, write
Uh-huh.
what's important,
Uh-huh.
no backyard,
Uh-huh.
right?
How successful have you been with people filling out your buyer's needs analysis? Not to the T, but at least looking it over and then giving it back to you.
Yeah, so you're going to want to set that up whenever you have that conversation, right?
Uh-huh.
You've talked to them on the phone.
Mhm.
A lot of lead generation sources, whether or not you've done it on your own or through the phone, you have asked for that. You have collected that information. You can email it to them.
Mhm.
Hey, listen, I'm going to send you some paperwork. I'm going to ask you to take a look at it.
Mhm.
It's going to make our job a lot easier finding a property that's going to work well for you.
Uh-huh.
If you don't mind taking a look at it, spending a few minutes trying to fill it out for me, that would be a huge help.
Okay.
If you
prior
don't
to the
answer
meeting,
everything,
that would
yeah,
be
in the
good,
first
yeah,
conversation.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be using that. That's absolutely. Don't be afraid to email that to them, ask them to
Uh-huh.
review it. Listen, if you don't fill it all out, it's not a problem. It's not written in stone. It's just
Mhm.
going to help us a little bit down the road.
Yeah.
And it may help you really determine what you're looking for.
Mhm.
Help make you
Yeah,
focus
so
a
it
little
starts
bit.
really making them think, wait a minute.
Yeah, because 1,000 homes coming to you when you do your search on realtor.com
Right.
can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
If you know more about what you're looking for, it's going to make my job a lot easier. Email that to them because you got 2 or 3 days. They can fill it out. And you're going to meet with them. Ask for it. Stick it in your, so you can read it later and then you can have a conversation.
Uh-huh.
Then you can review it later when you get back to the office.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you really prefer being a buyer's agent?
I did.
Uh-huh. Do you find it's a lot more time consuming or being a seller's agent? Being a bond, that appeals to me more, being a
It
buyer's
is,
agent.
it can
Uh-huh.
be. You're gonna spend more time in the process of, showing houses,
Uh-huh.
scheduling showings,
Yeah.
coordinating, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
With the listings, you're gonna be busier up front. You've done a lot of work up front with comps and things to to have a good idea of where the numbers are gonna be.
Yeah.
You're still got to be in touch with your client throughout the process, reaching out to them every week, every other week, whatever it looks like for you guys, you and your client. Let them know how the market's changing, about recent sellings, whether or not a price adjustment needs to happen,
Yeah.
some of the comments that have come back. So there's still going to be work to be done.
Uh-huh.
I find, in my opinion, that your buyer's agent's going to be more face-to-face, hands-on work. Your listings are going to can be more phone oriented.
Uh-huh.
Hey, listen, it's time for a price adjustment. You've had 10 showings, nobody's put an offer in on it, right?
Yeah.
The house down the street sold for $5,000 less, you're overpriced,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
going to be more of can be accomplished over a phone. But again, it's how your client likes to work and likes to operate. If they're face-to-face, then you have to go see them.
Yeah.
So it's just a preference. I do take listings on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
On the team.
Uh-huh.
But that's as a
Oh,
buyer,
so you're
that's
with
my
the
role.
team?
Yeah, team navigators.
Oh, okay, of course.
Team
I
navigators.
know the team name.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, so creating your presentation, right? If you haven't done this, you guys can get into your command at some point and play around with what this looks like. When you get in there, you're going to be able to change and manipulate a lot of things there. Designs in Command provides 2 templates for the buyer presentation that are fully customizable, so you can change a lot of the fields and the information that's in there to match what it is your value is, right? To match your value proposition, and you can tailor it to the buyer that you're going to meet with. The buyer presentation is a great tool. It's a guide. It helps make sure that your conversation stays on track with the buyer. You can describe what the process looks like, what happens when, so on and so forth. It provides the client with a tangible demonstration of your expertise as a real estate agent. You can also, if you've got some transactions under your belt, go back to those individuals and ask for them for a review. If they'll prepare one for you, because there's a page in there that you can actually put that in there. For them to read later. Leave it with them. It's materials they're going to keep, and let them have that. So, look, here's some reading material for you. If you can't sleep at night, read this. There's some great things in there. So we're going to discuss the purpose of each of the sections in the buyer presentations. We're not going to go over every individual page or how to edit everything in there. You can go in and review some of the articles and designs, and also at answers.kw.com, and practice customizing it and playing around with that buyer presentation. Yes, and also Anthony can provide a little bit of guidance on what your presentation looks like, your consultation guide, and also you can go to command and designs that are going to be specific for the market center. Right. Next, your table of contents, right, in your presentation. Each section of the buyer presentation helps you connect with the buyer and helps build confidence in your value proposition, what it is you bring to the table. You can make changes to your presentation, including adding, deleting, editing. You can change the order in which things happen in there. Who is it? If you run into trouble, one of the things here, according to this facilitator guide, my question should be, what resources do you have to help you prepare the buyer presentation? So you've never put one before. I must presume you haven't put one together yet, right? So what would be your first steps in getting, this is my question to you, what's going to be your first steps to getting your buyer presentation?
I mean, I already have them all, but
How do you access it in command? Sample buyer, oh, I see,
Got it?
I think so, yeah, I got it.
Beautiful. Well, I was lucky enough to have Stephanie, right? And she kind of put that together. So I'll tell you and be clear that I didn't have to put our teams together, right? And command wasn't rolled out full force for me to have done that. I did have played around with many of the templates that did allow you. So I do have the understanding that you can go in and delete fields, take them out. You can go in and add things and graphics and your information and put bullet points wherever you need to. So you're going to be able to do all of that. So some of your resources, right? Other agents ask to see somebody else's buyer presentation. What does that look like?
well, and
Get
then you guys are in
guidance.
the PC department, so
Go to Anthony.
on
Yeah.
Twillo, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I can't remember. So they have everything lined up now. So y'all can just go into that and go look at
Yep.
the examples.
Oh,
That was all like new when I first started in it.
Yes.
So now they have it completely organized
really?
and ready and
Okay.
available to you.
So spend a little
use
bit of
that.
time on your business,
okay,
right?
yeah,
And get those things and get that thing put
Okay.
together so that you'll have it. And make
Okay.
it as long or as short as you would like,
Yeah.
right? Because you can eliminate
Okay.
pages altogether.
uh-huh,
You want it to be something that people can kind of look at
mhm,
quickly, get information that they need, but not necessarily do they want to read a novel, right?
Yeah,
I don't.
right, I know, I would
I don't
think
want to read a novel.
shorter would be,
So you could talk to other agents.
Uh-huh.
You could talk to Anthony, get a little bit of guidance. You can ask each
Okay.
other.
okay,
Even, it may be one of those things where you tried it out on a client. You didn't need, or maybe you didn't use everything that you had in there. Maybe you used it 3 or 4 times and you never reviewed a particular page.
Mhm.
Well, take it out. What's it need to be in there for?
Right.
If you're never going to talk about it, why have it in there,
yeah, okay,
right?
uh-huh,
And I always tell my clients that I'm not reading this thing I'm not going over every single page.
uh-huh,
And there's some great information in here.
yeah,
I pull out some of the things that I want to make sure that we talk about,
right,
but I make sure that they know
uh-huh,
there's great information about the process, what happens, how it happens, that
Yeah.
they need to kind of review.
uh-huh,
And I leave it. That's why I leave it for them to review later.
uh-huh,
Go back to your buyer lead sheets. You already sent it to them. You asked them to fill it out. You can refer back to that. That's going to help give you some great guidance on what needs to go in your presentation.
uh-huh,
You can also pull some information from the market center, right? Some of the market center data that you may want to drop into
Uh-huh.
there. And there's
Okay.
actually a section in here about some of that in just a few moments, about knowing your numbers,
uh-huh,
right? What your numbers are. So as we go over the sections, we're going to discuss kind of the resources that you're going to need to customize your presentation. Make sure if you make a change or delete a page out of your presentation, you update your table of content,
Yeah.
your contents, right?
right,
You don't want to have a section in there that's not in there anymore because you
Right.
deleted something, right?
uh-huh,
So let's go take a look at one of the pages. This one, right? So you can edit all of these things. When you're in there editing this, you're going to be able to take out certain sections, or maybe you want to add your own questions,
uh-huh,
right? You could change the photo, right? You can go in and do those things. So really kind of this first one really sets the tone for your client. It helps open up questions. It gets them talking a little bit about what it is their wants and needs are. And it starts by asking buyers to explain what their dream home looks like, what their buying experience looks like. So if you turn to page 6 in the participant guide, there's some information there, and you can review the page. So it should be the same page. What is the objective for this page in the buyer guide? I think I kind of gave you the answer. So I'll go through it, right? I won't put everybody on the spot every time. So this page sets the tone for the appointment, establishing what the buyer's needs are, right? Establishing what the wants and the values of the center of the relationship. So it does kind of set those tones, set those expectations. you do find out more about what specifically they're looking for. Maybe if they filled out the buyer needs sheets, that they have a better understanding of what it is they're looking for. And figure out what their motivations are, why it is they're trying to move. Could be a growing family, could be they want more elbow space between their neighbors. Maybe they want 2 or 3 acres as opposed to a 80 by 100 lot, right? So what questions could you add and or change on this page to help you achieve the goal of getting to know the values and the motivations? So they got certain questions on there now. Is there anything that you would add yourself or take off?
I don't know, I haven't read through it all, but I would ask questions like, what are some things that I could look for that would help you in making the decision whether you want to buy that home?
Yeah.
What are those things? What stands out to you that I can look for?
Yeah.
Whether it's a big dining room, a big, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Swimming pool, whatever.
Absolutely. Yep. Love it. Anyone else?
I don't know if they have that on there, but who's the primary person of contact? Is that on there?
Yeah, no, it is not on here, but there's a very important question to know who it is. It's going to be answering the phones and responding and looking at the properties on a regular basis.
Yeah. 'Cause
Sometimes it's
mostly it's
one.
one or the other.
I find it's one or the other,
Yeah.
not both.
Right.
Right, that's going to be your primary contact that you're going to be able to send information to and get quick responses from. They're just more available for whatever reason. Yeah, I think these are great questions to get things going. Personalize them to your own style. If you're not one that's going to ask a question, well, how can I make that happen for you? Right? If you never find yourself saying that, maybe rephrase it to make it your own. Right? How can I help? Right? What is it you need from me? Right? Those are things that I personally would ask. Right? How can I help you find what you're looking for? Tell me more about what your dream home looks like. If you could find the perfect property, what does that look like? Now, of course, you're going to go in and say, listen, there are no perfect properties, but I'm going to do my very best. Right? Yeah, great questions. And you can change all of those. Make them your own. That anything that's going to open up that conversation for them to start giving you more information. So, awesome. Preference profile. The next section in the buyer's presentation is a preference profile. On page 8 of the guide, there's some questions on that page, right? What do you feel like the objective of these questions are? One of the questions is, have you considered who my main contact will be? Ding, ding, ding. Somebody got ahead of the curve there. What timeline? Do you have to have this house yesterday?
Right.
Do we have, what does it look like? Why do you need to move? Are you do we need to have you in a house in 2 months? So on. Are they in a hurry? Not. Maybe they're not.
Even though 2 months, that seems like they should be in a hurry, huh?
If they need to be in a house, they should have been looking already, and they need to be prepared. There's a lot that needs to happen if they need to be in a house in 2 months. But yeah, great questions, right? Have you looked into getting pre-approved? Great question. Love that one, right? Because I personally don't want to work with somebody who's not.
Got to get them there first.
Right.
I will show one. I will show one house, and then the conversation while we're showing it is, do you have a lender?
Right. Who have you chosen?
Right. Who have you chosen as your lender?
Why
Make
did
the
you choose
assumption.
them? Yeah.
Make the assumption that they've already had that conversation. So who's your lender? Who are you gonna be working with during this process? And depending on what the answer is, you're gonna know how you're gonna need to proceed. Either they're serious about it. I don't know. Maybe you could send me some recommendations. I don't have a lender or commitment anymore. Great. Let me send you who I got. Maybe they've got their own person. Great. Send me their contact information.
So maybe I'm asking a question.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe they don't realize that they should have had a lender already. And how do you cross that?
Yeah, I
where
was
You
wondering.
want them to
that.
get the lender, but you don't really want to work with them until they do. How do you
I
bridge
wondered the
that?
same thing.
So if it comes down to that, make sure that I'm answering your question, if I understood it correctly. When I ask them about their lender and who it is that they're working with, I always let them know why it's important that they have that conversation.
Mhm.
Because oftentimes people will assume that they can afford a certain amount of property or a certain budget,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
I said, listen, you're going to be sorely disappointed in me, and you're going to be mad at me if you are looking at $300,000 homes
Mhm.
when you should be looking at $200,000 homes,
Yeah.
because there is a world of difference between the two.
Right, of course.
And for you to have, as a buyer, to have a great experience,
Mhm.
it's important that you know exactly where you are financially in this process.
Yeah.
It's going to help you, and it's going to help me
Yeah.
find the houses that we know you can get. Now listen, just because you get approved for 300 doesn't mean you have to pay 300. We can still stay in an area that makes your payments comfortable for where you want to keep them, right?
Just a little tidbit, I was
And
looking at
clarify
our app. Our app has a new
Has a calculator on it.
thing on it now, with a guide, where it's a little
But there's all
slider.
kinds of reasons why people could be
Where
or
you
would
can
not
see, like, if
be.
you're comfortable with paying like $1,200
Uh-huh.
a month, you can kind of put your numbers in, and then you can kind of see what house range
Oh,
it should
okay.
kind of be around. Of course,
I would
you're
love
not the
for you to-
lender, but
Yeah, I
that's
love
a
for you to
guide.
show that.
Well, there's things in there as well. You don't know what their credit score looks like.
Mhm.
There's going to be
Right, I
things that
know.
they assume,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And just because you go and look at it because you went to free annual report, creditreport.com and got your
Right.
report, doesn't mean it's the same thing and the same numbers that their lenders are going to be using.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
They're the ones that gives you the thumbs up or the thumbs down.
yeah.
So they're the ones that you need to go by what they say.
Uh-huh.
You need to stress the conversation for the lender conversation.
Uh-huh.
They need to talk to somebody.
Right.
You need to know where they are. You need to know where they are in the process and what it looks like.
Would you bring that up on a phone call, the initial phone call, trying to set the appointment?
You can judge that yourself. Depends on how much I think they've let their guard down.
Yeah.
If you feel like they've let their guard down and you can bring that up, maybe they can have that conversation before,
Uh-huh.
and you can bring the appropriate homes
Yeah.
to you. You can go and do a search by, well, yes, I've been pre-approved for 226. Great. Then I'm going to bring houses to you. I'm going to print out some that's in that price range. Some are going to be a little bit higher.
Mhm.
Some are going to be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
It's not my job to pinpoint the exact price.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people will drop the price and it works out for your price point.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
plus it depends on the loan.
There's
what kind of
so
house
many
you get. I know,
variables.
there's
Yeah, I don't
so
want to
many
get too
things.
deep,
I
too
know.
off on a squirrel.
My brain.
There's a
is
lot of
growing.
variables, right?
Yeah.
The important part is that they have the conversation.
Yeah.
Yes or no.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They need to.
Right.
Right. Oh, I'm going to talk to them later in the week.
I know.
Well, I had a client that I spoke to last Friday,
Uh-huh.
had a conversation. We did a Zoom meeting, right? Everything went great.
Mhm. Was that the first time you had spoken with this client?
Other than being on the phone, it was face to face.
Oh,
I had
okay.
had one
Okay.
phone conversation
Yeah.
with the lady, the girl.
Yeah.
I say girl, she's in her 20s,
Uh-huh.
early 20s.
Uh-huh.
I am not.
Mhm.
So I spoke to her.
Uh-huh.
They agreed to a Zoom. They both showed up on time for the appointment on
Yeah.
Zoom.
Uh-huh.
During our conversation, have you talked to a lender? No,
Uh-huh.
not yet. Great.
Uh-huh.
Do you have someone that you prefer? I have recommendations. No, I sent her my recommendations. I followed up with her. Hey, have you reached out to one of the lenders? No, I'm going to reach out towards the end of next week. Okay, no problem. The property that they originally inquired about was under contract at the time in which they called me the very first time.
Mhm.
Yesterday, I found out 2 days ago, the property came back on the market.
Oh, really?
Called her. Hey, have you talked to the lender yet? No, not yet.
Uh-huh.
You need to do that right now. The property you wanted is coming back on the market.
Yeah.
And so if you want to make a move, you have got to make that conversation right now.
Yeah. And what did
Time
she
is of
say?
the essence.
Uh-huh. And what did she say?
She made a phone call.
Uh-huh.
Good.
And how did it go? Did
It
she-
went good. There's some things on the credit. They're not enough
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So they're not able to make a move right now, but see that these are those are the things that you would not have known
Exactly.
otherwise.
Yeah.
You presume, or they presume,
Uh-huh.
that they are in a better position than they are, that they're going to be able to move forward on a property they like.
Right.
Now they've taken a chance that a property that they want isn't going to be there when they're ready to move on it.
Yeah.
That's the importance. If you're ready, if you have the lender conversation, you know you're ready, you know you can pull the trigger today. That means when they find the property that they absolutely love,
Right.
they can move on it right away instead of waiting a week to talk to a lender, give documentation, supporting documents, and then the property not being available anymore.
Especially with the way things are right now.
You
Especially
can't wait.
You can't even fill
You
out
cannot wait.
the offer unless you know the lending.
Because you gotta have the
So
lender
you have to
information
know
on it.
everything and time starts.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, so it's like that's what I have
You-
to have with people.
In your
Make them
conversation, you
understand I
have
can't-
got to
yeah.
stress the importance of talking to the lender.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they're gonna find the house they love and they're gonna miss it because they didn't have the conversation.
Yeah.
Or there's a blemish they don't know about
Right.
that they need to fix.
Exactly. Yeah.
And plus
It's
you
important.
can't fill out the.
So
offer.
on this preference profile, on this page of your presentation, I love that question about the lending.
Mhm.
It opens up a great conversation and you can have the opportunity to stress the importance of doing it. And they need to do it
Mhm.
sooner rather than later, unless they're paying cash.
Yeah, I just got a buyer to the lender, actually, I'm
Absolutely.
gonna call the lender and see if they.
One of the other ones, have you thought about the price,
Yeah.
right? That's tied in great to the lender conversation
Yeah.
of where you want to be. Great, you've talked to a lender. Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
You were approved for what?
Uh-huh.
Where do you feel comfortable keeping your payment around?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know?
Mhm.
Ask the lender to help you
Uh-huh.
narrow that down.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm comfortable around 1,200. Great. Ask the lender what price point that is
Mhm.
so that we know where we need to be looking.
Mhm.
Great conversation, great questions. They tie in together. If I found a home today that checked all your boxes, could you see yourself making a move? Again, have they talked to the lender? Are they ready?
Yeah.
What would stop them?
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's a work thing.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they're moving out from out of town somewhere else,
Uh-huh.
right? If they're out of state and moving in,
Uh-huh.
that conversation looks different. When are you going to be here?
Yeah.
What, what does that look like? If I found a house tomorrow,
Mhm.
can we move on that? Do you have to sell a house beforehand?
Mhm.
What, are there other things that are involved?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes people's money
Mhm.
and the money they can use to put down towards another house is tied up in the house they're living in now.
Mhm.
And then that's a whole nother, see, now you've got two opportunities.
Yeah.
You've got an opportunity to list their house
Yeah.
and sell it. And you have the opportunity to work with them on a buy, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you get the wonderful job of trying to juggle the two
Uh-huh.
and what that looks like. Is their
Yeah.
house, see, it opens up
I
a
know,
whole nother
so
thing.
many different.
There's so many
yeah,
things going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of these questions right here.
Mhm.
So get them in your normal conversation, in your personal script, right? And make sure that you're asking these questions. If not, make sure that they're on this profile. And as you review it with your clients, you know that you're going to be asking these questions.
So you might skip other pages, but you're not skipping that
You
one.
should not. This is where you need to put your go-to questions that's going to open up questions for other things.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So, and as you do this more and more, you're going to ask those questions way before you get there. You'll have built it in.
Yeah,
Right.
It'll
that
be
shows their motivation right there.
Yeah,
You know, where to
absolutely.
categorize them.
What you got, Judy?
Well, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
I asked them, are you paying rent currently?
Yeah, great question.
Is that comfortable for you, or could you go up? if you
And
go
that's-
higher?
And that's great with this question because you're going to talk about where their living situation is now. Are they renting? Do they have to sell before they buy?
Mhm.
Right? Oh, you're renting? Great. You don't have anything to worry about. When we find it, we can move right away. Right? You're selling, you got to sell a house? Great. Well, let's have that conversation too. So, that question opens up.
Mhm.
Are you renting? What is your rent?
Mhm.
You're paying $1,500 a month? Great.
Are you struggling with that?
Yeah, are you making that payment comfortably? Is that an issue for you? Then kind of a great price point for their payment,
Mhm.
right? So there's a lot that goes into that. So that's a really good question. So that's the questions
Love how you
page.
put that in there.
What's that?
I bet that covers a lot of territory. Are you comfortable with that payment?
Yeah.
I bet that covers a lot of territory.
It does. It's going to open up a whole lot of information.
Right.
And they're going to spew
Right.
just information, and that's you just for taking
Yep.
taking your notes, right? You good over there, Rhonda? Just want to make sure you're checking in once in a while.
I am, I'm listening. I'm getting ready. I have to go run out for a second, but I'll be back in about 2
No
minutes.
worries. No worries. Thank you. So your preference profile is all about uncovering expectations, preferences for communication, anticipated timeline for the buyer, how quickly can they move. You can make sure that you're asking them the best way to talk to them, the best way to communicate. Some people prefer a phone conversation. Others, a text message is great. You're going to figure that out at some point. You'll get more comfortable with your clients. They'll build that rapport. You'll be able to send text messages at, found a great house today. Hey, take a look at this one. Right. I love the new mobile app for Jesrin to look at them up.
Oh my God. It's
because
amazing.
it's so much easier to find. I can find 10 properties and email them all or text them all. Hey, look at these properties and send them all. I like that.
It was weird. The other day, I was in the office and I used the old one perfectly fine. Then the next day I was like, what is happening? And I posted it on KW and people were like, no, you got to do the new one. So I downloaded it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
saw
I
that
love
feed.
it.
See, I haven't done anything. I
saw that
have
feed.
not used that app.
We will get you going before you leave here.
We will.
Because
Find a buyer's
this is
consultation.
life. You are going to love it.
Oh, goodness.
I'm like addicted to it now.
Really?
I'm like, yeah.
It's not on
I
the
need to
internet,
take
in the
some
form.
Matrix.
I checked there, it's not in the book.
They just had one.
And they have.
Ask me before I leave and I'll see if I can. I think I've got it.
Oh, the Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have those. I think they might even have them on the thing.
Squirrel moment.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Collaborate
Yep. Take a
back.
side note. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
So my question to you is, if you have more than one buyer's consultation, in a week, how do you keep track of that? That's my question to you.
Make sure you put them in your contacts.
Command,
Right.
what? You know what? I had a friend of mine tell me that every time that she's in church and somebody asks her a question, she said, the answer is always Jesus is the answer, right?
Right.
Command is the answer. Command is the answer. Yeah, using it. So the
I thought
question
it was
is,
lead gen. No, I'm fine.
yeah, right, it is. How you track this information across multiple buyer consultation appointments. So you've got a consultation today, you've got one on Thursday, you've got one on Saturday, you get your clients mixed up and confused. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what they wanted.
Yeah.
So take your notes. You got that scratch piece of paper, you just scrabbled on, right?
Yeah.
And it's all sideways and you got circles and X's and things. You need to have a system in place where you can put all that information, right? Go back to your command profile, find the note, put your notes in. Met with Miss Jones today, PJ's 3 o'clock. She's looking 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever.
Yeah.
Not a busy street. This is what we talked about. Loves the school of Pontotola Elementary. Needs this. Has a husband.
Yeah.
Has a boyfriend, fiance, has whatever's going to help you remember and jog your memory about her or him and that situation, because that's going to be different from the next one.
Right. You just put it under their contact.
Put it on your notes. There's a notes tab on your contact. Yes.
Okay.
And that's where I dump everything.
All
It doesn't matter. You're the only one that's ever going to see it.
Right. Okay.
Put it in there so that you know what you're
Okay.
looking for, so you can go back and say,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I remember now. Right.
Okay.
Set yourself a task. I'm going off on the squirrel moment now.
Uh-huh.
Set yourself a task for when you need to be following up,
Yeah.
or when it is you need to do the work you said you were going to do.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, I
Right.
told Mrs. Johnson I was going to find her 2 or 3 houses for,
Yeah.
I need to make an appointment with myself
Right.
to do that for her
Right.
and get those to her.
Okay.
So during the buyer consultation, you should be taking notes, right? Taking notes is not only captures the information for you, it also demonstrates to the buyers that what they're telling you is important, that you are aware of what they're saying, right? After the appointment, update your buyer's contact information and command, include their preferred method of contact, all things we've discussed already. You can create a custom field to track additional preferences, such as preferred time of the day. Use tags. You can create tags in there to let you know where the lead came from, because there are reports that you can generate that let you know where your business is coming from.
Yeah.
Right? Brian, sphere of influence, SOI. Brian's sphere of influence referral. So one of my friends sent me one of their friends. right? And now I know at the end of the year, great, I did 15 deals. Where do they come from? Oh, well, I've got friends and who are telling their friends. Awesome. Love that. I love that business. That's where my business comes from. Just as a side note. So yeah, you add the tags, the more information. Oh, well, I bought some leads. I get leads from wherever, right? From lands.com, right? It's great. I got a lead from there. Now I know I got business from that. But so if you're in a networking group, great. Networking group referral. So you know where your businesses come from.
Right.
Use the tags.
Yeah.
They're just going to help you. Awesome. Awesome. Questions about building your preference? They're very important. That'll be a page that you leave in there. Wish list, right? The wish list of the house. Use the home wish list section to ask buyers about their ideal home, what it is that they want, so on and so forth. You should customize these questions based on your market, any information that you have already obtained from the buyer lead sheet. This questionnaire is the foundation of your needs analysis. It is how you capture a precise picture of what the buyers are looking for. This is how they're going to tell you what their perfect home looks like. If I could pick the perfect home, it's going to be single story, master bedroom. I like it this big. I need a tub and a walk-in shower, and I want subway tile on the backsplash in the kitchen. I want brown cabinets, and I want 3-centimeter granite countertops, and I want 9-foot ceilings throughout the house. This is everything, right? This is going to help you do. The first 4 questions. Who's going to be living in this home? Adults, children, and pets. So how much space do you need in your ideal home? Well, you told me you needed a 2-bedroom, but it's you, your fiance, your husband, you've got 1 child already, you've got another one on the way, and you have 3 dogs. We can find you something a little bit bigger perhaps, right? So she told me it was her and 2 kids, but in reality, after further discussion, there's a couple animals in there, and where are the animals going to stay, and is the backyard big enough, and so on and so forth, right? So this is my role playing. What are the non-negotiables of your home? What do you have to have? And if it doesn't have that, don't show it. I need a single-story house. If it's 2-story and has everything else, I can't have the kids sleeping upstairs and me sleeping downstairs. They're too little. Great. Then I'm going to eliminate all the 2-story houses, and we don't have to look at those. If they send you 2-story houses, has something changed? Right? Because they're going to text you information. Oh, I found this one on realtor.com. I want to see it. It's a 2-story house, by the way. Oh, okay. You told me you didn't want a 2-story house. Did something change? Oh, we're looking at 2-story houses now? Because that's going to open up things for you if that's what you want. Right? So great question. Non-negotiables. So you're not wasting time on things that they don't want.
Yeah.
I've got clients like that. I don't want a 2-story house. Great. She sent me one just the other day through text message. Hey, I love this house. It's got a great front porch. That's what I want. It's in a great neighborhood. I responded back. It's a 2-story house. That's why I didn't send it to you. Oh, I missed that. Yep. No worries. That's what I'm here for. Right? I went and looked at it. It's 2-story. You told me you did not want a 2-story house. So great question. If you had to name your top 5 non-negotiables, what would they be? So you got a good solid list. So let me ask you right here, what's the difference between the needs and the wants?
The needs you have to have, the ones you can walk away from.
It brings it back down to the level of this is what you need and this is what is out there.
Yeah.
So I understand you want, that could be future, but
Yeah. Your needs are going to be the things that they will not negotiate on at present moment. Their needs may change
Right.
as they begin to see houses and what they can get for the price point they want to be in. And so needs and wants do change,
Yeah.
but up front, the needs are the things that they're not gonna give.
Uh-huh.
Gotta have it. Wants would be nice to have.
Uh-huh.
It'd be nice to have the pool in the back, but that's not that big a deal.
Uh-huh.
It would be nice to have the fence in the backyard, but I can put that up later,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? I have got to have 9-foot ceilings. I have to. My husband's 6 foot tall. I can't have an 8-foot ceiling, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Or so on and so forth. It could be the wife who's 6 foot tall. Right. So those are the differences between your needs and your wants.
Yeah.
And I kind of led into my next question. They change because I picked a price point.
Uh-huh.
This is what I want to pay.
Yeah.
But I cannot find all of my needs at that price point.
Mhm.
So something's going to change.
Yeah.
Their expectations of what they're going to buy at that price point is going to change,
Mhm.
or what they have to have
Mhm.
at that price point is going to change.
So at what point do you have that conversation?
When you
Right.
can't find what they're looking for. Yeah.
When
When
there's
there's
the buyer would have
a sense of frustration.
I've got to get my sweater.
Yeah, of course.
I know it is. a little
Perhaps
chilly.
you've got a sense of, you get a sense of frustration from your client. Hey, listen, at your price point, and you just have to have honest conversation because you've built good trust at this point. Excuse me. So you've built good trust, right?
He's ever come if you want.
Oh, thank you. I forgot all about it. Built good trust. You feel comfortable just being able to tell them, hey, listen, you told me you wanted to stay at 225. This is what we're going to get for 225.
Right.
We've seen houses. We've seen 5 houses. This is what 225 looks like. So we either have to change your expectations of your needs and wants for 225 for your price point, or we have to change your price point. That's going to get you where you want to be. It's not a hard conversation to have.
Mhm.
It's really not. It's a reality check for them, though.
Right.
For
Yeah,
what
but
it
if they're
is.
getting frustrated, they probably want to have that conversation.
They absolutely do.
They just don't know it maybe.
That's right. They don't. They don't. All right, so here it is built in a little bit of role play for the first 4 questions. I am open to doing that if you guys would like to. However, it's 10:30. We haven't gotten very far into it. I'd like to skip this for now. We've kind of discussed it. We've elaborated a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And unless you guys really want to do a role play, I'd say we'll just kind of move on. We'll just have the
Sure,
discussion and
that's fine.
continue to move on. So you guys can practice at home. If you'd like to, practice in the mirror, figure out what those questions look like, practice on each other, role play partners.
And if
Neighborhoods.
anybody needs a role play partner.
Judy's great. Judy loves role playing. Neighborhood insights. So why would you want to include information about neighborhoods in the buyer presentation?
That would
Why
have-
would we want to include it? Go
Yes.
ahead. You go ahead.
You go, Renee,
No, I want to hear you.
please.
I talk too much.
You do not. Your insight is very helpful.
You're both, everybody's contributing. I'm very pleased.
Right.
I just think, the neighborhood, you know, if there are a lot of, you know, if the, your client has children, it's nice to know if there are a lot of families in the neighborhood, if there are groceries, parks, you know, different things nearby that would interest the buyer.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
it would come from that first conversation that you had that would dictate where you're going to look. And then you give a couple of neighborhoods or maybe 2, 3, whatever it is, I don't know.
Right.
But you give that and then you kind of narrow it down to where you can do your search more precise, I should say.
Absolutely. And these are great things here. Average listing price. Let them know what's going on in the neighborhood, right? What was it maybe 3 years ago?
Uh-huh.
Is the neighborhood holding value?
Uh-huh.
Maybe they're not going to stay in their house for 10 years. Maybe they're going to be there 3 or 5 years. Is it going to hold the value? Most people will be happy if they get their money back out of the house and not lose money over time,
Right.
right? And not have to stay in a house 10 years before it appreciates.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you break down the neighborhood based on how long are the houses staying on the market. If the houses you want are staying on the market 3 days, you better be ready on day
Good
one,
point. Good point, especially right now.
right? You can't wait. You got to move.
Yeah.
Got to go. Schools, right? You got people who are interested in schools, staying in a certain neighborhood. If they're already in school somewhere and they got to stay at a certain place, that's going to change where you search, may affect your price, what house, kind of house. You may not be able to stick quite so much to their needs. It's going to fluctuate because that's going to change what's in that particular school district, right? Where can you find some of this information?
On command and designs,
Mhm.
if you can.
Yeah,
have
there
that
are.
section, like-
You can use designs in command to create a neighborhood snap. Yep, you can go to Kelly and say, "Oh snap," right, and you can get neighborhood information through the website, through that app for that.
Through which app?
You can use Kelly,
Okay.
the Kelly app.
Mhm.
And there's also an article that referenced here on answers.kw.com, and should be in your participation guide on page 11. So you guys can copy and paste that. It's hyperlinked in here. Making sure that you choose appropriate neighborhoods. If they are walkers, right? As far as they like to walk every afternoon or something, you need to find a neighborhood that maybe would suit that.
Yeah.
If there are school zones they want to stay in,
Yeah.
that's going to help you determine which neighborhoods to kind of pick. Price point, average price of the neighborhood, there's all things that's going to help drive what neighborhoods you would put on a neighborhood insights page. Right. Moving on. Buying a home, how it works. Woo! Love this part. A buyer who knows what to expect is a confident buyer. I'll say that again. A buyer who knows what to expect is a confident buyer. And a confident buyer is easier to work with than one that is anxious and who mentions objections throughout the process. You may need to explain the difference between pre-qualifications and pre-approval. Pre-qualification, does anybody know what the difference is?
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, I
She's been in it
I
longer
know
than
it,
you.
I
I'd
know,
rather
but
hear
I'll
it.
say it.
Well, I know that pre-approval is ideally what you want because they're ready to go. I mean, they've been pre-approved, pre-qualification. I mean, that really isn't offering much. With the pre-approval, I mean, everything's set up. They've been approved for so much money and they're ready to go.
Yes. So what I hear you saying is that pre-qualification is a higher level of approval. It's a little bit more informal.
Right.
Right.
Pre-qualification.
A pre-qualification, a little bit more informal. It could just be information that was provided to a lender over the phone.
Yeah.
A pre-approval is going to be documents and supporting documents have been submitted. The lender has reviewed them. It may have gone through underwriting already. It is rock solid.
Yeah.
Right. No surprises.
Right.
So as it reads here, pre-qualification is a preliminary evaluation, very high level, of how much a buyer can afford to borrow, while pre-approval, much more involved process in which the lender verifies the income. They have submitted documentation, W-2s, so on, right? Employment and other financial information to evaluate how much the borrower can get. So pre-approval, much more firm, no questions, submitted documentation, lenders reviewed it, going through underwriting to a degree, no surprises. Pre-qualification, very high level. Hey, I make $50,000 and I work at Bells. Can I get approved?
Yeah.
Right. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Pre-approval is much more desired and better for your client too. It makes the process shorter on the lending side, especially if they've done some of that stuff already. And if you're going to find something, if you're going to find a hiccup or a bump in the road,
Mhm.
that's when you want to find it. You don't want to find it after your 20 days into a contract
Right.
and you've waited until after your inspection period
Uh-huh.
to get into it
Uh-huh.
and then try to figure out, because you don't want your deal to fall apart on your dream house because of financing.
Right.
If you know it and can fix it up front, you're in
Uh-huh.
a much better situation
Mhm.
and you look better.
Mhm.
So this page, it goes through exactly what it is. I like a page. We have a page similar to this. It's a little bit more of a graph as opposed to bullets, but make whatever works for you. You're going to hit certain bullets on this page. Just kind of go through it. No surprises. You want to go into your consultation with and reviewing this page with, there are going to be no surprises as far as what the process is from writing the contract all the way to close, right? And what happens in between. And this page is going to help you eliminate that. It also is going to build confidence in what you're doing and that you know what you're talking about. And then if they have questions along the way, they know that they can reach out to you and get the answers. And if a problem or an issue does come back up, you can say, hey, you remember back when we first met, when we talked about what the inspection period looks like and what happens? Well, we talked about that already, right? So you've got something with a little teeth in it. You can go back to your client and say, hey, listen, we talked about that. Do you remember in the buyer consult when we talked about what that process is?
Yeah.
That's it. No worries. Calm them down if they're up in arms.
Yeah.
Let them know it's all going to work out,
Mhm.
right? So this helps you work better with your client. This helps you with your client.
And just a little
I like this
additive,
page.
in the Twilio,
Uh-huh.
are you in the PC department?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
good. All right, so go there. They got
Uh-huh.
the buyer's roadmap, they have a few different things
Yeah.
that are used, it's all there.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, amazing.
Page 15 of your guide. The Keller Mortgage page. Keller Mortgage page must be in your buyer presentation. I'm sorry, it says it's optional. If you include it, no, I misread it. The Keller Mortgage page in the buyer presentation is optional. If you include the Keller Mortgage page, you must include the affiliated business arrangement disclosure. It says that Keller Mortgage is a part of Keller Williams in some way, form, or fashion.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just summarized all of that,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah, you should read it so that you, on your own, so that you at least know what it says, so that you can best describe it to your client. You'll need to make sure that you customize the first line of the disclosures to include the name of your market center. That's one of the fields you'll be able to do when you build your presentation, and it will copy all the way through. So make sure you're putting that in. Keller Mortgage is not available in New York or Canada. If your buyer is looking in homes in either of those markets, you got to remove the Keller Mortgage page in the disclosure. Keller Mortgage has been great. Anybody who's buying a Keller Williams listed home or works with a Keller Williams agent is has the ability to at least apply through Keller Mortgage, and they save them a lot of. They can save your clients a lot of money by going through Keller Mortgage. If you've not done it, maybe you need to dig some information. Talk to somebody who has used Keller Mortgage before, build some confidence in it yourself, so that you can relay that to your clients or your potential buyer. But it can save your client thousands by going through Keller. And if you have the listing as a Keller Williams agent, if the buyer for your listing is working with a different brokerage, they then are eligible to go through Keller Mortgage as well, because it's a Keller Williams listed home. So cool things. Right? The real value, real experience. Love it. Participants that in Spark, my participants that in Spark, that developed their value presentation and practice delivering it. I'm a little unclear on what that is. This section of the buyer presentation is all about presenting your value proposition. As a new agent, you may choose to include the data for your team, your market center, or Keller Williams Realty International to present your best value, right? As your business grows, track your successes, include the numbers in your buyer presentation. Who knows what the numbers are?
Mine's
Not
easy.
established yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you get numbers?
Would use Anthony's.
Anthony's numbers?
I'm part of a team that, I'm in his team,
Okay.
and I would use his. I'm part of a team that sold 165 homes last year for 20 million in total sales. On the buyer, I have used that on the FISBO that I called on.
Great.
And I told him, part of that team. I don't think it went very far, but I wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah. Awesome. It shows that you're paying attention, right?
Uh-huh.
So me personally,
Uh-huh.
I sold last year about a little over $5.5 million worth of property. My gross commission income last year as a buyer's agent on a team was just above $70,000, my gross commission.
When you say
I
gross
sold
commission.
23 houses.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right.
I sold.
Uh-huh.
The team sold over $15.5 million and 105 units.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, team navigators.
Uh-huh.
So that's knowing your numbers. I pulled market center numbers, right? So if you're not on a team, if you don't have a place to be able to get those numbers, you're going to want to be able to show that you're with a brokerage that sells houses, right? That's what's important to your listing, right?
Yeah.
Also to your buyers, because you're going to want to know that their brokerage is listing a bunch of houses for you to go find, right? So the market center, Market Center 984, was started in 1997. The sales volume for this market center in 2020, $566 million, more than double of any other brokerage.
Wow.
2,781 homes, units sold.
And where do you get these numbers?
I emailed the market center and said, hey, can you provide these numbers to me?
Oh, great. Okay.
Serata can provide that. There's also LOR reports, what's called LOR reports, that will provide you with a comparison of one brokerage to others on a monthly basis, month to month, which are great for you to include, especially if you're on the
That's something that y'all
listing.
just posted, like there was something going around, like who's, okay.
A yellow graph?
Yeah,
That's the one.
okay.
That's the one.
And so you can just call. to
There
get
was a
the
time at which they would produce those on a regular basis. Market Center doesn't produce them a whole lot. I don't know that people are requesting it, so they don't pull it. But the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
So I think they're great for presentations to let them know that, listen, we buy a lot of houses and we sell a lot of houses.
Yeah.
I'm your guy.
Right.
Build confidence in yourself.
It's called a
Show those
Laurel
numbers.
report.
I'm sorry, LOR, L-O-R-E,
Okay.
LOR report.
And where do we get those?
You can email the front
And
desk.
just, okay.
And that's where
What did you say? I know you said 2,781 sales.
units sold.
And how many, what was the dollar amount?
It was over $566 million.
Okay. Thank you.
And the total number of licensed agents for 261. Why would you want to know that?
I don't know. Well, just to see that
Well,
so
we don't
many
wanna know
agents
that.
go to
Why would
that
you want to
company.
know that there are 261 licensed agents in our market center?
I don't know. I mean, I think that speaks well for Keller Williams.
It
They've
does.
got that many agents.
So Natalie, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
I'm the buyer, and I ask you a question. Natalie, how long you been in real estate?
18 years, which I have actually.
Okay.
I got my license 18 years.
Okay, and you've been active all 18 years?
No. So, and see, I would not be comfortable saying, I would be honest about that.
Of course.
That I got my license 18 years ago, but went inactive at that time.
Okay.
And just decided, I worked in the oil and gas industry and things were very slow. So I chose to activate my real estate license and activated it just in December.
Just recently?
Yeah, of last year.
Okay.
So
So how many houses have you sold?
None.
Okay. Right. Here's my point, right?
Okay.
And I'm not picking on you, so
No,
please don't.
no, I appreciate this.
So you would want to know that because many new agents don't have numbers. You
Right,
don't have sales. And maybe this is your first one.
yeah,
You need to be able to demonstrate that you're somewhere that you're showing you are eager, that you know where to go and get the answers, and you have a plethora of agents
uh-huh,
that you can go and tap into to find the answers.
uh-huh,
Hey, listen, I know that I've only been doing this for 2 months.
Yeah.
But I can please be rest assured
uh-huh,
that I know where to get the answers. I am not in this alone.
uh-huh.
Keller Williams, we share information. We want all of our agents to succeed,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
We share information. We share how to do things, where to find information, how to make each other better. And here's why. Keller Williams sells more houses than any other brokerage in this area, hands down, twice as many. Here's the report to show it.
Uh-huh.
I am with a company that's going to help me succeed, which in turn helps you to succeed,
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
great.
right?
I wish I had a recording of what you just said, so.
That's why you need to know how many agents there are.
Right, uh-huh, okay.
Our agents sell more houses than anyone else.
Because even
Our
though we
agents
know we
buy
have
more houses.
good brokers, they don't.
Our agents buy more houses than anyone else. Our agents sell more houses than anyone else. We list more houses than anyone else,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mhm.
I know how to
I
get
am
it
still
done.
going to use that because I didn't realize that part.
That's why you want to know your numbers.
Right.
You can speak to those. When you've got a little bit of time beneath you, you're going to be able to fill this in on your own.
Right.
Listen, I've been in the business for 4 years, right? This, I don't know how many total numbers of clients that I have worked over that time, but last year I sold 23 houses,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Repeat clients. I haven't had repeat clients, but I've had referrals from my
Yeah.
from past clients.
Right.
I would change this field,
Mhm.
right? Make it something else,
Uh-huh.
right? It doesn't have to be clients at all, but fill that number in. Clients served in 2019. Well, I know I helped 23 people,
Yeah.
right? I sold 23 units.
Uh-huh.
Know your numbers so that you can build confidence and be able to speak to them. You're either going to use your own numbers as you develop them and get them, and if they're not what you feel comfortable using, use the market center numbers.
Mhm.
Use your team numbers. If some point you get on a team,
Uh-huh.
use your team numbers. Right? I know what our team numbers are. You don't have to be. I need to know that our team sold over $15 million worth of property last year.
Yeah.
Our goal is to do more this year. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. That's how you answer that.
Yeah, I know, I need to get that down.
Yep.
Okay.
So that Fisbo guy I told you that I told him that too?
Yep.
He said, no, Steve, how long have you been selling real estate?
Done.
I said, well, I've done 5 weeks. He said, 5 weeks? I said, yes, but that's why I joined this team. So I could have someone join the team that is successful.
Yep. Hey, listen, I've been in real estate for 5 years, but I've been in the service industry helping people in the restaurants for how long?
Forever, 30 years.
So I know how to communicate with people.
Mhm.
All I'm doing is selling a different product,
Uh-huh.
right?
That's a good comeback.
I'm just, instead of food, I'm
Uh-huh.
selling houses.
Yeah.
Just a different product.
So needless to
All the
say-
numbers and the research are available to me. You tell me what you're looking for, I'll find it.
So he was a real pain in the beginning,
Yeah, of
but at
course.
the end of it,
You're gonna,
he's wishing
Drop his guard.
me luck.
He's
in
gonna
my
drop his
new
guard.
career.
please, you don't know why you're at his house knocking on the door at whatever time during the day. Why are you here? Don't bother me,
Right.
right? That's his response.
Yeah. Mhm.
If you've got something to say, you've got some numbers to support what and why.
Uh-huh.
Their guard is going to get dropped. He's a little bit easier to talk to. Maybe you can call him in 2 weeks. Hey, listen, whatever, right?
Right.
Maybe somebody that you can follow up with. You never know. That's why this page is important.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it in there, you at least need to be able to find a place. I would say put the page in there. Go over it if you can, have the opportunity. If you choose not to go over it, at least leave it in there so that they can read it.
Right. Yeah.
And some of you are new. It's okay. Find some numbers that you can use,
Uh-huh.
that you can come back to. And your conversation is going to be different if you're 5 weeks in versus if you're 4 years in.
Right,
Your numbers are going to be different.
right.
You should be able to speak to
It should be. I plan on them being.
Oh, yeah, right. They will. You're gonna do fine. Right? Buyer consult. Prior to the meeting with the buyer, you should print a color copy of the of your buyer presentation and give it to them so you can leave it with them. You should have a system for taking notes. So there's some scripts for welcoming the buyer to the buyer consultation and closing the appointment with a signed buyer agreement, right? Effective delivery of the buyer presentation begins with welcoming the buyer and setting expectations for the appointment, right? Page 14. Oh, you don't have the elemental script book. So I would find that elemental script book, and forgive me for not having it. Yeah, there's going to be in that book some great introductions, some good ways just to break the ice. I would say, be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't make it fake. They're going to read right through it. Be relaxed. They're nervous too,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And if you mess up, or if you feel like you do, they won't know the difference.
Yeah.
Don't tell them.
Right.
They're not going to know.
That's cool.
They're not going to know.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Okay.
Right? So the script will actually help set expectations. You're going to tell them up front, hey, listen, this is what we're going to cover. I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit, tell you a little bit about my background, but I also wanted to show you my buyer presentation so that we can eliminate some of the questions.
Uh-huh.
We can also make sure that there's no surprises along the way.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what the contract looks like. We're going to review some of those fields, what that is. I'm going to get some more information from you guys about what it is you're actually looking for, so that it makes my job a little bit easier.
Uh-huh.
Talk about what those expectations are going to be. That's what I'm sure that script is going to help you cover. So I would go back and reference that when you have the opportunity to review those scripts. Make those scripts your own.
Yeah.
It's a guide for you to use.
Yeah.
Tailor them the way you need to. You'll have your own scripts. Scripts are nothing more than just a predetermined response to a question or an objection.
Mhm.
It's just predetermined. It makes it easier for you. You have to practice them,
Mhm.
right? Practice them to yourself, read them over and over, get a practice partner, something, right? Allow yourself, give yourself permission to mess up. Yeah. So the scripts let the buyer know why it's important to spend time in your office, right? Why they're there. It's making your time with them valuable. And why it is, why you're spending time in the office discussing wants and needs prior to looking at houses, because you want to have this conversation, set expectations before you go out and look. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way, but that's the goal, right? Sometimes you go look at a house first and then you have the consult. Excuse me. It's going to save you time. It's going to save the buyer time later in the process because they're going to understand what's going on. So when you have the opportunity, try to find a script. It does recommend that you try to use that script this afternoon, right? Just to help you through that process. Okay, not sure what happened there, but we fixed that. I'm closing out the buyer consultation. The goal of the buyer consultation is to conclude with a signed buyer representation agreement. This is what Team Navigators looks like. The one for the Market Center looks very, very similar, right? We've just adjusted ours just slightly. I'll give you guys a copy of that before the day's over. The buyer representation agreement is a legal document, formalizes your working relationship with a buyer, detailing the services you provide and the duration in the relationship, right? This agreement protects you from spending valuable time with a buyer who ultimately uses another agent. It builds loyalty. We call ours a loyalty agreement. I don't want to work with somebody who doesn't want to work with me, right? Personally, right? Why would you? This helps cut through some of that and lets them know that they're agreeing to work with you. You've set expectations of what the process looks like, so on. So It's important. And you can go over your rep agreement. Go over what those expectations are, because it gives bullet points on the one the Market Center uses as well.
Okay.
What that is. You're going to provide your documents to the lender quickly, right? If you find a for sale by owner that on a house that you like, you call me first. Don't call the number on the sign. Let me make that first contact. It's on that agreement. You need to go over it with them so that they understand that you are the contact.
Right.
You're the one that makes the phone calls. You're the one that sets the appointments. You may wind up going and buying a for sale by owner, but there's some things that you need to be in charge of setting up that appointment, working with the seller. Are they willing to work with you? What happens if they're not? Your buyer loyalty agreement covers a lot of that, sets expectations of what's going to happen if you and your buyer find yourself in that situation. So it's important, read it, know what the bullet points are, know what your job is in this relationship, know what their job is. They're going to get a copy of it, you're going to get a copy of it, right? So you guys agreeing to work with each other. So how can you build in the script book, right? Which very well could be in Keller Williams University. I'm not sure. But in your script book, there are some scripts on how to best close and get the buyer loyalty agreement signed. So how do you think that you can close? So you spent time, you spent 45 minutes with some clients, you joked a little bit, laughed a little bit, right? You built a little rapport.
Yeah.
How do you go about presenting this now that you've met them once, now you want them to commit?
Yeah.
How do you get them to sign it?
You just show them the value of why they should choose you. And these are the things I'm going to do for you, and it should be in your bio loyalty kind of thing, like their responsibilities and your responsibilities to them, and just so that they have expectations again. Everybody knows their role, and in order for me to work for you, I need you to, agree to know that I'm your agent. So if you have any questions, you go to open houses, anything like that. Just know that I'm going to be representing your best interest. And you need me on your side to navigate you through this process.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do it alone. And
Exactly.
once you sign this, I'm your agent. So if you have any questions, you find anything online, say, hey, Renee, did you see this? I'll get straight back to you, during that time frame that we agreed upon of our communications. And this allows me to know that when I'm doing work for you, you're committed to me and I'm committed to you. And again, I have on my page, let's see, what is it? Did you knows, the buyer's agent's commission is paid by the seller. You know what I mean? So I don't actually get paid, until I get you to close.
Right.
Now if we don't do it now, it's fine, but I'm your agent and I'm going to work for you. So that's kind of neat.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I don't want to follow that. That was good.
I know, that was, you covered it.
I'm glad you spoke first. Mine wouldn't have been there, nowhere near that
Coming
good.
to this it makes me realize how much I do know to go. So it's good.
Yep. So when I get to this page, when I talk about buyer loyalty agreement, kind of sounds like this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, this is my buyer loyalty agreement, right? This is a loyalty agreement. It says that I'm going to agree to work with you and you're going to agree to work with me. And here are some of the rules and some of the expectations. This is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to help you find the house that you're looking for. I'm going to help you get through the process. I'm going to have your best interest at heart. I'm going to fight for you when we get under contract to make sure that you're getting the very best that you can, right? Here's what I need you to do and what you're going to agree to do. You're going to make sure that you get all your paperwork to the lender timely. You're going to make sure that if you find a house online, it's for sale by owner, you call me first. Let me make sure that they're going to be willing to work with us together, right? This is a loyalty agreement. I want a win-win situation, right? If you don't want to work with me anymore, you just tell me and I'll destroy this. I will tear this up. But let me tell you though, that signing this helps me protect you against other agents. Other agents are going to continue, if you go to open houses, other agents are going to continue to come after you, and they're going to continue to call you and reach out to you, right? This helps me keep them at bay. This way you don't have 100 agents to worry about. You only have one to work with. That's me. Right? That's what mine sounds like. It's a loyalty agreement.
Yeah.
They feel a little more comfortable signing this up front because they're not tied to just me. Once we go to a house and I show them kind of what I'm all about and who I am, and they get to know me just a little, that's a wrap. They're done.
Yeah.
They're going to be working with Brian for sure. It's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be an issue because I'm going to exude confidence, right? I'm going to show them that if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be upfront and honest, and I'm going to follow up with what I say I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm going to have their best. This is never going to come up again. That'll be a wrap.
So how does it go when you contact a for sale by owner? How are they normally pretty receptive to working?
Most are.
with you?
You're going to find some that don't want agents involved. I lost a client because they wanted to go buy a house and they didn't want to work with me, so they proceeded without me. It's only happened once. Most understand that buyer agents or real estate agents in general bring buyers to their house. I would tell you, get the commission signed up front, or when you go to their house, you preview the house. Perhaps you could set up a preview of a for sale by owner and say, hey, listen, I'd like to get it in writing if you don't mind, because you've already had a conversation about what that looks like. I always try to get as much as I can, because on some level, you're going to be helping the seller too. Even if they're selling it for sale by owner, you still got to coordinate inspections. You still got to coordinate them signing paperwork. You still got to explain the paperwork to them and why they're signing it. You still got to explain the offer to a seller. So inherently, so I always try to get a little bit more, but a little bit is better than nothing. So whatever it is you guys agree upon, there is a commission agreement, a one-page commission agreement that you can sign that is specific to your set of buyers. It's a one-time deal. It's clear, precise, that it's a one-time only. It's not an agreement to list their house. And so get it signed and then bring your buyers to go show it. Because I wouldn't want the two of them talking without me. Right? I don't want to give them.
If they.
Hey, listen, I got this
decide
buyer
to
loyalty
behind
agreement,
scenes, yeah.
right? You can't cut me out. You should not cut me out, right?
Well,
We
if-
agreed to work together.
Yeah,
I've got a commission agreement too with the seller that says, you buy this house, I'm getting paid.
with these clients.
If these clients buy this house, I'm going to present it to the title company if you go without me. I'm going to it's going to happen, right? It's binding. That is binding. So you'll run across that eventually. It happens. Yeah, don't be afraid of it. Call the seller. Most understand. Most are going to be willing to pay a commission to the buyer's agreement, to the buyer's agent. Yeah, it's called protecting the buyer. Are you protecting agents? You see signs sometimes that says agent protected? That's what they're talking about. Yeah, so a billboard sometimes, great big signs, it'll just bunch of verbiage and a phone number says agent protected. That means you're going to get paid. That means as a buyer's agent, you bring the buyer, you get paid. So nothing to be afraid of. Role model presentation agreement. Does anybody have one?
Oh, what?
A presentation agreement?
I do.
Okay.
I've simplified it over the years. Well, yeah, it used to be a little bit longer, but now I've kind of combined my buyer loyalty within it.
Okay. Here's
Some
ours.
pages.
Here's Team Navigator.
Nice.
Right? So Stephanie does it nice and neat, and she finds it for us and everything.
Uh-huh.
So that
Which
whenever we-
Stephanie is this?
Stephanie Neese.
Oh, okay. I missed
Stephanie-
her class. I wish. I could
Stephanie
get
works, she's on our team as a buyer's agent. She also takes care of the marketing.
Uh-huh,
She puts this
okay.
kind of stuff
Oh,
together.
great.
So I don't have to be creative.
Wonderful.
So obviously I turn it this way, or
Yeah.
it's shared on a screen,
Uh-huh.
right? Guys, if you're there, Rhonda, if you're there, this is my buyer's presentation. So I open this up. There's a lot of pages in here I don't go through. Word for word, because it's lengthy and it's wordy, and I'm not gonna do that. They can read that. I do want to hit some of the highlights,
Right.
right? Welcome them, show them, some of the pages, what's important, some things they should absolutely look at. I point out what we're gonna be reviewing. There's a page in here that's got all of our pictures in it and our job roles.
Mhm.
I show them that, because not only are they gonna be working with me, but on our team, we've got admin.
Mhm.
They're gonna be in communications too,
Right.
right? And so now they've got a name and a face put together.
Yeah, that's
Right.
great.
If you're the only one, maybe you put a bio, right? If you're an individual agent, maybe you just put a little bit of a bio about yourself in there.
Yeah.
This is me, this is where I come from, this is my experience,
Yeah.
this is where I'm at.
Mhm.
Talk about win-win,
Mhm.
right? That's in the importance of talking the loyalty agreement. I want a win-win situation. It's gonna work for you, it's gonna work for me.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's gonna be happy,
Mhm.
right? I'm gonna get you the best deal. This page here. So this page here, this is the old one because he's not on our team. But this page here, look who we have. This is our coach. She helps us improve. This is our team lead.
Oh,
And
wow, what
this
a
is me.
team. Dawn and Manley.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So this is me, my contact information.
Uh-huh.
So we've got, this is Jill. Jill's our admin, right? Jill handles all the paperwork. She'll help me make sure that I don't miss timelines and deadlines,
Yeah.
right? She's gonna be in communication with you throughout the process.
Uh-huh.
So you're gonna get an email from her, but now you've at least got a name and a face put together. So when you see the email come across, you'll understand what it's all about, right? So we're gonna be your guide. We're gonna help you through this process, right? We're gonna use my knowledge. We'll use the market center knowledge. We'll use my team knowledge, right? Again, going back to your numbers, right? What seller agency is, what buyer agency is, talks about one of the documents that you've got to fill out. I forget the name of it. The agency agreement. Yep, the customer information form. The agency agreement. So you can discuss that. There's a form that you're required to fill out and get signed. This breaks the ice on that. You talk about it ahead of time, so it's not a surprise later.
Right.
Right? I invite them to read this.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to. I
Yeah.
spend time here. This is the graph. You remember the slide with the bullet points on it a little bit ago?
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's just in graph form.
Mhm.
I walk them through this process. No surprises. Hey, look, we're gonna spend a lot of time here in these first 7 or 8 spots. We're gonna look at houses, you talk to a lender, we're gonna continue to look and weigh these houses back and forth, so on and so forth. Here's what happens, accept the contract, right?
Uh-huh.
We've written a contract, we found a house, we negotiated the terms, we're under contract. These 3 things happen at the same time. We have provided our information to the lender, we've done inspections, we're working on our financing. This is what I like to call the long wait. Because you and I as clients and a realtor, and we've worked together a lot, maybe for weeks, maybe for months. Once we go under contract, it kind of goes quiet for a little while. You and I aren't gonna have a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit and wait.
Yeah.
Title company's doing research, right? They're
Right.
pulling up the property, make sure there's no problems there. Your lender continues to pull information about your finances and getting things cleared up. The appraisal's being ordered, right? There's not a lot for you and I to be doing together at this point, right? These things happen all at the same time. Then we move on to your closing and you get to buy a house.
Yeah.
Okay? I then take a little bit of time to talk about the inspection period. Hey, listen, I always try to negotiate a 14-day inspection period. I represent the buyers. I try to get you as much time as I possibly can. I want you to understand everything about that house as you possibly can.
Mhm.
Inspections, though, are on you. You as the buyer. You can get any kind of inspections that you want. You have to pay for those. Those are your expenses.
Mhm.
But please know that you're going to spend hundreds to save thousands.
Mhm.
So wouldn't you rather spend a couple $100s on a home inspection or some sort of inspection, know whether or not there's any issues with the house, and then back out of it, as opposed to buying the house and then finding out that the treatment plant needs to be replaced,
Right.
or there's 15 leaks in the roof,
Mhm.
or that there's a major electrical issues in the house?
Mhm.
Well, let's do that up front,
Mhm.
and we do that during our inspection period. If there's a problem we can't negotiate around, we can get out.
Mhm.
You've spent $200 to get an electrician there, it saved you thousands. We can get you out of this contract if we have to during the inspection period. On day 15, you're buying a house. That's it.
Mhm.
So I stress the importance of timelines. I stress what that period is about. It's not going to be a surprise to them as we go through that process. So I then break down some of the parts of the inspection period. So I'll hit a couple other of these pages if I'm inclined. You make yours the way you want to, so that you make sure you cover what you need and you're able to show your value. It does break down past that point kind of what it looks like, so that they can read what that making the offer looks like.
Mhm.
I generally kind of talk about what that looks like on my own. I don't generally.
That's just for them to
reference
have
this
at home
page.
to ponder over
They can,
themselves.
I call it bathroom material.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's bathroom material. That's for, read it when you're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Home inspection process, right?
Uh-huh.
I've already discussed it.
Yeah.
They've heard it. Now they can
Right,
read it and
right.
see it.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's what my presentation is,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Good.
right? It's nice and relaxed.
Uh-huh.
Show your confidence.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have covered all this stuff.
Right.
Follow the squirrels. I mean, the squirrels are gonna go wherever
Yeah.
they need to,
Uh-huh.
but you can help make sure that they understand. The purpose of this tool is to eliminate
Uh-huh.
surprises.
Right.
You don't want
Yeah.
surprises in buying a house,
No.
right? You don't want surprises in their lending. You don't want them to be unsure
Mhm.
of what the next step is or what that looks like.
Mhm.
So if you can review this and know it well
Yeah.
enough,
Yeah,
then you're
that's
gonna
great.
eliminate surprises.
Uh-huh. I can imagine.
So that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what my goal is, eliminate surprises. Excellent, good job. So that's our role play. You're welcome.
Thank
So I
you.
didn't call and put anybody on the spot. Has everybody downloaded their app? Right?
Yeah, but I don't understand it.
And it's branded to you?
I think so.
Okay, you do that through command. You brand the app through command to you. It'll download and have your picture on it. So as you share your app,
Mhm.
right? As you share your app with others, and as they download it, because I tested it out on my wife, it does brand to you. It has your picture, it has your contact information, and if I share my app with Renee, and Renee shares my app with Steve, you also get my branded app,
Yeah, that's great.
right?
Uh-huh.
So if somebody new begins to use it,
Mhm.
that lead filters right back to my command.
Uh-huh. Good.
Now I've got phone information, contact information,
Uh-huh.
I've got the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That
Cool
is
stuff.
wonderful.
Cool stuff. So there is your app, kind of what it looks like. Improvements, I believe, are on their way for the app. I try to share it as often as I can, especially if you know people are using. When you run into a situation where somebody says, "Oh, I sent you this great house, I want to go see it," and then you look it up on the MLS, "Oh, it was sold last week."
Mhm.
Well, realtor says it's still active. Well,
Yeah.
you need a better app.
That's a great opportunity.
Let me share my app with you that's real time, that is directly tied to the multiple listing service, so that you can find any house in the country.
Uh-huh.
When a house goes under contract that morning, you're going to know it that afternoon.
Mhm.
And you're not going to be finding houses that aren't available to you anymore.
Yeah.
So great conversation, great leadway to sharing that. So At this point, I'm supposed to demonstrate my own Keller Williams app. I do have it downloaded. I don't know if I can demonstrate that though to you.
System command.
Yeah. So everybody's got it downloaded?
Yeah.
So it's just a white square with red Keller Williams letters in it.
I have it, but I haven't really used it.
Y'all should play around with it. Go in it
Yeah.
yourself, find it, go find the properties, be
Uh-huh.
familiar with it.
Yeah, I've looked at properties on it, but I know that,
It's just,
Uh-huh, yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what
if
you
it's the
see.
same one that we used
But
to
how do
use, but
I
we used to drive
give it to
up
other
in front
people?
of a house that had a for sale sign and it would tell us all the information.
Go to
Yeah,
more.
it has.
Go to
that.
what?
More, across the bottom.
You just put it on.
So Rhonda, if you're there, on the bottom of the app,
so
there's a
it's
button called More. It's got three. Got a little figure of a person on it. You hit More, and then you're going to hit Share the KW app.
You just hit that little arrow button.
Oh,
that
at the
shows
bottom.
you your location.
So scroll down just a little bit. You hit Share the KW app,
Okay,
and you can select text if you want to text it.
right. Let's text it to myself.
Text it to a contact in your phone. Do that right now.
okay,
Good idea.
And then on command, you can go into the guide and
Yes.
change around your buying and selling and your
Yes.
wording. So
Yes.
I like that a lot. So.
It's tied together.
I'm
And
gonna
it,
text it to my cousin because he's got a photographic memory.
Great.
He remembers everything.
and when you do have them in the process and opportunities, it actually, if they download it, it keeps them up to date on what process they are in the transaction,
Yep.
which is great.
Yep. Yep. Love it. So,
Cool.
yep, it is
I'll be
cool.
sharing this one and the new MLS one, but I would suggest for them to have both.
Yeah.
Because the branded one is gonna bring them through the steps and keep them active in their transaction. And then the MLS one's awesome because all the features now that we can do.
That
with-
and the portal,
Right,
right? Because it sends them to a portal.
yeah,
So as you continue to send properties to them that they like, and they click the heart that they like it, or they click the trash can because they don't, you get to see that on your side.
and you have access to everything that you sent them already. in
And
your
it's an
hand,
opportunity
which
to
is
have
great.
discussion about the app
Yeah,
in the portal.
right,
Hey, listen, when you select it, that you like it on your side, I get to see that.
right,
It makes
Yeah,
my searches better,
right.
right? I'm gonna
I
find
see you
better
got a
homes
really
for you.
good one
Oh,
this
no,
time,
thank you,
huh?
thank you.
Right?
You got the large sizes.
They didn't have the other ones I like.
So there's a way for you to do some collections through the app and save some homes, right? As your clients are creating collections on their KW site, on the site for a desktop or for their app, you're going to be able to view the listings in those collections with their contact records. So you can actually go back and see what they're doing. So I'm just going to try to speed us up just a little bit, make sure that we can kind of get through all the course material. How will the collections help you inform the buyer consultation process?
You can see what they're looking at, what areas are
Absolutely.
going in. You can
Absolutely.
actually see the time that they logged in, so that's
Yep.
pretty awesome.
It is.
If they're
So
night owls or anything.
if you're able to bring this into a conversation before you meet with them for your consultation,
Mhm.
if they actually log in and activate it, you can see what they're looking at before you go and talk to them on a
Yeah.
consultation.
Uh-huh.
Oh, by the way, I see that you've looked at 123 Main Street. What was it about that one you liked? I think it's a really cute house. I like the way that it's been updated.
Yeah.
Demonstrates that I looked at it, right?
Right.
And I saw the house, right? I could speak to it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I don't have to know everything about it.
Right,
Great bedrooms. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that the one? Right?
yeah,
Have
Uh-huh.
general conversation,
uh-huh.
right? You can look for trends.
Mhm.
If they're looking at all 2-story houses, then you know that one of your focus is going to be on 2-story houses, because that could be, maybe they're looking at all fenced backyards. Maybe there's a neighborhood that they really like.
Yeah,
They're staying in a neighborhood,
right,
right?
uh-huh.
Wow.
If they have saved 5 houses, 5 homes, and 2 of them in their same neighborhood,
They're looking in a certain area.
Maybe there's an area that they're looking at. Maybe there's a school zone that they're looking at, a school area that they're looking at. Right? Insights. It helps you. It's gonna help you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna ask them, hey, did you wanna go look at that?
Hey,
house?"
listen, by the way, I don't know if you realize, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, but you selected 2 houses that were in the same neighborhood. Is there something about that neighborhood you like? Yeah, right? Opens up questions. It's all about dialogue and talking. Yes, ma'am.
Should you tell them that you have a showing procedure? Like I say, you know, if it's vacant, I can show you today. If it's occupied, I'll give you 24 hours.
I like it. I have done that before where people have called me and said, hey, listen, I want to go, what information can you give me on this house at Main Street? Well, here's what we can do, I can pull it up for you. Let me tell you about it real quick. And by the way, if you want to see that right now, I'm fairly certain that property is empty.
Yeah.
We can schedule something this afternoon and we can go see, let's go see,
Yeah.
if you want to go see it right now.
Uh-huh.
Now you've already shown them a house, right? Which you got to take that with a grain of salt. You're going to show it to them before they're pre-approved or not. It does give you the opportunity to get in front of them.
Right.
This is me, right? This is you. We can talk, body language, eye contact, inflection in your voice, right? All of that stuff is important. You've just changed your whole schedule to accommodate them. What does that say?
Yeah. Mhm.
Hey, listen, even if you don't have anything on your schedule,
Mhm.
hey, listen, let me look at my calendar. I'm going to rearrange some things for you, and we're going to go take a look at that.
Mhm.
I may have had things on my calendar. I may not,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe I did.
Yeah.
You're going out of
Maybe
your
I
way,
wanted
right?
to.
You're going out of your way.
Maybe I was going to go have a drink after work.
Uh-huh.
Before
Yeah.
now I'm not.
Uh-huh.
Look, it shows that you're willing to do what you got to do.
Right. Uh-huh.
You can't do that for every house. Every house isn't vacant. Every house. Call the agent. Hey, listen, agent, I had a client come back to me and said they wanted to see this house. What's the chances of me getting in there today? I know you need an appointment required, but you know, I'm down the street. Maybe you're showing houses. That's happened. I know it's happened to me.
Uh-huh.
You're showing houses. You're in a neighborhood where you see a sign,
Uh-huh.
a realtor sign.
Uh-huh.
It didn't come up in your search criteria, or maybe you just didn't add it that day.
Yeah.
Call the agent on the phone.
Uh-huh.
Hey, listen, Judy, I'm in the neighborhood. You've got this house listed over here.
Uh-huh.
What are the chances of me getting in there in the next 20 minutes? Well, do you think you could call your people and see if that's something we could do? I'm in the neighborhood already.
Yeah.
You call me back?
Yeah.
Great.
Uh-huh.
Judy's gonna call me back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can get you in. No, they can't. They've got kids or sick kids or COVID in the
Yeah.
house,
Right.
right?
Uh-huh.
But think of all the things that you're showing your clients that you're willing to do. You're trying to get them a house. You're trying to find it.
And as you mentioned that, you just sparked my brain to the paperwork to show people houses during COVID. Are we still utilizing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you should prep your clients that bring a mask.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right? I'm not going to share what my personal opinions are. I do let my clients lead me. I will absolutely respect the wishes of the seller. I will, if I know that there are small children in the house, I will wear a mask anyway. Take precautions. Show the seller that you're willing to do, you're trying to protect them. Wear your mask. Tell your clients, bring a mask.
Yeah.
Be expected to wear one,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
If the house is vacant and there's nothing in it and nobody's there, I might be a little bit more lax. If I know people are in there, I got to the front door yesterday showing a client and said, oh, let's go get masks. There's some little kids in this house. We both went back to our vehicles. We both got our masks and we wore our masks back to the house.
Yeah.
People in this day of age understand. I don't care what their personal preferences are,
Right.
but it's not their house yet.
Yeah. Mhm.
If they have a wish and a desire that everybody wear booties and gloves and wear a mask every time they enter, then you wear booties and you wear a mask and you wear whatever, right? You do, they're the seller, it's their house.
Yeah.
You need to follow their wishes and expectations and take some precautions. Absolutely, yes. I have hand sanitizer in my truck that we can use. We can
But
put
do
it
you
on
have me sign
and
that
go.
paper?
You
have me
should.
do that? Okay, because that's
should.
kind of my thing and then it kind of lets me know whether or not I'm dealing with serious people to some degree. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of take their temperature, right?
Wait, what is
You
it?
can take your buyer's temperature that way.
They have that document and documents for the COVID-19,
Oh.
the
uh-huh.
showing
Yeah.
of that day
Mhm.
to be able to show them, and nobody's going to hold anybody liable. you know.
You get sick, you're not gonna hold people, right? So
I
that's the
see.
kind of thing
Okay.
what it's about.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, good stuff. Good stuff.
And that's how I get their email and sign them up for DocuSign.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
Right?
all the goods. All the goods. All right, in Command, you have the ability to customize the buyer guide to fit exactly how your business runs. You can add or remove steps, edit the information within the steps. You can reorder the steps of the guide. It is designed to walk your clients through the process of buying a home while tracking their progress throughout the process in the app. I demonstrate how to customize the buyer guide. I will demonstrate that. I'm not set up for that
you just go to
show you.
command.
Go into
Yeah,
Command.
go to
I would
command.
tell you the best teacher is for you to spend a little time in it
Uh-huh.
practicing
Mhm.
that.
So you won't forget. You gotta
Oh, okay, excellent.
just put it in my office.
Yep. Thank you. You want me to just lay it in your office if I got it?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Don't be afraid of getting into the buyer's guide. I know that I have played with it before, before Stephanie came on board. It's not difficult, right? I would talk to other agents in the office, somebody that you're comfortable with, see if they're willing to share theirs. They should be.
Uh-huh.
Use theirs as a guide.
Uh-huh.
Make it your own.
Yeah.
Use theirs as a guide so that yours can be better and tailored to you.
Mhm.
Right? There's going to be elements that you like,
Mhm.
elements that you don't.
Mhm.
See, I switched mine around from
There you go.
start the search. I was like, get pre-approved. So that's on mine.
Right. I guarantee you, they've already started their search.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Right.
Right? You need to get them pre-approved. In this market for buyers,
Right.
Yeah.
that's the key.
You be ready to go,
But for their
Got to be
brain,
pulling the trigger.
I let them know,
ready to go.
you know, mentally,
Yep.
that's the first thing.
So,
Brian, are you running until 1 today?
am I doing
Are
what?
you're gonna end at 1 today?
I think it's to 12.
Oh, okay. That's good. I have to leave early. It's my sister's birthday and we're going to lunch.
Cool. Good for y'all.
Yeah.
I will say that you do log into Command.
Uh-huh.
You go to the consumer icon, which is on the left side of the page. And then there is on the top of the page, there's a button that says Guide Builder. It's a tab.
Yep.
Okay, you found that? You see that
Yes,
here?
sir.
Guide Builder, perfect. Click to edit content, the edit icon,
Oh,
right? On there, it's going to be edit. Once you click
Did you
Guide
find
Builder.
consumer?
where,
It's at that very bottom of that row to the left.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Got it?
no,
Consumer.
what's the edit at?
And then I go, into guide builder. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
I see, you know what? Remember we
I'm a
talked, I
guide
got a
builder.
gig on.
Oh, good. How do you
Yeah.
like it?
I like it.
Buyer's
I'm
guide.
not really used to that much.
Buyer's
So
guide.
I have my desktop at home.
Yeah.
I just like a bigger,
Mhm.
I like, with my old job, I had 2 monitors. And it's just so,
Your comfort zone.
Go back.
yeah, I like big
Mhm.
and, so
You
anyway.
probably need to just.
Oh, I had it right here.
Too.
I bet
Yeah.
that's
That's
it.
probably
Yeah.
hard.
Do
for
you
you.
have
Yep,
that?
yep,
I do.
got it.
Okay.
Rhonda, if you're
Brian.
there with us, it's going to be, once you get to the Guide Builder tab,
Okay, great.
you click on that, it's going to give you 2 line items, one for a buyer guide, one for a listing guide. All the way to the right of that screen is 3 little buttons. You click on the 3 little buttons and it's going to pop up another tab that says edit. And you'll be able to edit that.
And one more thing while he's on that, if you hit that red KW box at the top, it opens up all with those tabs are, because I forget what they are. So I go to that red box all the time to figure out where consumer is or whatever we work, designs or whatever it is. I forget where they are.
So, based on what you've learned today, kind of what we discussed in our little round robins on occasion, what do you need to do to prepare for your next buyer consultation appointment? This is, I guess, a little bit of a personal reflection. What is it you need to do at this point, based on what you've done already and what we've talked about today, What do you need to do to build your buyer consultation?
I need to add the real value section with the office numbers, because as of right now, I didn't have any talking points on that. And I think that's a great, you know,
A great segue.
Ad.
Yeah, a great ad.
It's a great, for them not to question anything. So.
Yeah, where are you in building yours?
Oh, gosh, I've got a lot to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just need to get into the guide and just review it and be more comfortable with, with altering it to fit me.
Yeah. I would say don't eat the cake all in one bite.
Yeah, it's just so much.
Eat it one bite at a time, right?
Yeah.
Take one page
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah, I mean, it amazes me that in 4 years that you've gotten to where you are now.
Thank you.
It really does. I mean, I think it's just overwhelming. I feel like there's so much. I just don't even know.
There is. It is a lot. There's a lot to know. There's a lot to learn. But you've got resources here.
Yeah.
You've got great people in this office.
I know. You're so right about that. I am very impressed.
There are really good people in this office, and you're going to find people that you are comfortable in working with.
Right.
Right? You're going to find yourself going to certain people more than once because maybe they're more tolerant of new agents.
Right.
Or maybe they have a certain way with you, or they've got a personality that works well with your own personality.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe they've taken you under their wing. For right now, that's Anthony.
Yeah.
That's your person.
Right.
That's who you go to.
Yeah.
But you've got great people in this office that are willing and able to take some time to help you. But I would say show some attempt, some effort on your side up front.
Right.
Where you have attempted to do something, go with specific questions.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I've tried to make this change and I can't. I'm getting this error. Or I can't find how do I do this? I want to put this here and I can't I'm running into a wall.
Okay.
Right? If you go with your contracts, when you're reading through it and there's a bunch of blanks in there you're filling out, you may not know what goes in the blank or what should go in the blank or what's intended. Go with specific questions. Hey, listen, I got to this point and I don't know what this means. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? What is this? What do I put? What's expected in the inspection period days?
Yeah.
Is it 10 days, 7 days, 14? I don't know. Help me, give me a little guidance. Right? Go with specific questions.
Okay.
Before your first buyer appointment, you should review and practice the buyer scripts on the pages that's in that script book, Element script book, and customize your buyer presentation design. Use it as a guide. It's going to help you walk through the process. It's going to make sure that you don't miss anything that you intended, because your nerves are going to get to you, and that's normal at first, right? Because it's different. It's new.
Yeah.
You've not done it before. So if it's in the book and you can follow the book, you make sure you cover everything, and you don't miss out anything that you meant to say.
Yeah.
Make a copy for yourself. Write in your own copy. Highlight words that are important to you to point out. Write things in the columns. Take notes for yourself so that as they're flipping through theirs, you're flipping through yours, and you can say, oh, by the way, look at this. Oh, and this is what this page is about, and this about that page. And this is what else I do about this. So it gives you guidance and it helps you eliminate, and you're going to be prepared. Right? Cool.
I like that. Make a copy for yourself with notes on the side.
I love
Take
that.
notes, highlight it.
Especially the first few times when you don't know, you're trying to figure out everything.
So you've developed your buyer consultation book. Print yours in black and white, because it doesn't matter to you if you've got a pretty one or not. You're going to print a color one for your client because it's going to be pretty, right? Show, and it's going to be impressionable. Write in it. Absolutely. Make notes for yourself so that you know exactly what it is you want to say, that you don't miss anything you intended on covering, and you don't miss it by accident.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
But you got to get it put together first.
Right, of course.
Yep. Right. Ahas to achievement. So the goal of our time together in face-to-face and with Rhonda in Zoom world is to help you think, feel, act, use what you've learned to ignite your passion, help you achieve what your big why is, right? So to participate, AHA to achievements, activities, that should be an activity in your participation guide. AHAs to achievement. Just write down a few things for each category. That I know that we've not always stayed directly on task, but those are for you to kind of do that. Then I might ask you maybe to share something. I'm going to step to the copier for a moment. Which one?
I was just looking at where you were on your, yes.
Something wrong?
On the AHAs,
Right,
yeah.
yeah,
So we're just kind of overviewing what we
right,
learned here. Just-
yeah,
Because
okay,
it's all, nothing's wrong, it's just your AHAs.
yeah, okay,
How you
okay,
feel.
great, thanks.
Oh, we Judy, lay it on your desk. I'm gonna go lay down.
I'll put it in my box. Thank you.
All right, gang. Who wants to share something? Share one of your ahas. Just one.
My AHA is that I need to stop preparing to prepare, and I'm prepared.
Oh my heavens, yes. Stop preparing to prepare.
Yes.
I'm gonna go sell a house when I'm ready. Well, you're ready. You signed up, you took your classes, you passed the test, go do it now.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Stop being prepared.
It's scary.
Stop taking all the 1,000 classes.
That's
The
good.
classes are important. Go sell a house.
I
You're gonna
know.
go, you're gonna go broke. You're gonna go broke. Don't wait.
I know.
You're not gonna know
It's
it all.
just scary jumping off when, you know.
Jump,
I know.
jump.
I wish I had somebody that I knew to represent. I don't
Yeah.
have anyone within my sphere
Yet,
to represent.
yet.
No,
Yet.
exactly, yet. And that would just be so much more comfortable, you know,
Yep.
for the first time, it would give me the confidence to,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, here's the thing, the buyers, you know more than them, right
yeah,
off the bat,
Right,
right? So
yeah,
just think of it that way.
good point. Mhm.
So So
I need
most
to buy-
buyers don't really know,
Uh-huh,
and, you
Yeah.
know, and even if they did buy before,
uh-huh.
everything's different. I say just like
Right.
taxes, it's a live
Absolutely.
system.
Mhm.
You are the expert. You may not feel like it.
Uh-huh,
Yep,
Yeah.
you are. They
yeah,
don't know when you mess up.
right.
They don't
I
know.
love that.
Yeah.
It was so true.
Uh-huh.
So what's one of your ahas there, Natalie?
Oh, I just, I'm just more clear on the questions to ask prospective
Yeah.
buyers.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's given me a much better feel.
When they give you objections and knowing how to respond,
Uh-huh,
that's automatically gives you confidence.
right.
They objected, you responded.
Uh-huh,
Now what? What's your next objection? Let's
Yeah.
get through that one too. And then
uh-huh,
when they run out of objections,
uh-huh,
you win.
mhm,
You win.
mhm. Okay.
What about you, Steve?
So just print one of the templates, whether it's listing or buyer's presentation, and just go with that and make the mistakes, make adjustments. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, you are. It's okay.
Exactly,
make
it's
mistakes.
okay.
We all
Just
do.
make adjustments, grow, make adjustments.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
They're not gonna know you made a mistake. Most people aren't gonna, they'll never know. You're gonna know it.
Right. That's when you're reflecting after.
Just keep moving forward.
And
Yeah.
do
Fix
not
it on the next one.
feel bad about firing one of your clients. If you do not get the connection with them and all like that, hand
Refer 'em.
them off to somebody else, honestly.
Refer
It is not worth the aggravation.
Uh-huh. Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
you can refer it and you can still get paid.
Uh-huh.
Rhonda, are you there with us? No worries. So we've taken some time to reflect on what we've learned is important, building on your confidence, celebrating your growth. Yay. We'll do this activity during each power session so you can kind of keep track of your learning journey. Daily success habits. Build your daily success habits. 3-hour session includes script practice, lead generation, updating your contacts and your follow-ups, and kind of practicing your contracts. So if you should build in some time to do some of these things. It is good exercise for everyone. There are very experienced agents who still do script practices. I'm fairly certain Will Frederick, who was just in here, getting water a moment ago,
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain he still does script practices,
Oh, really?
right? On our team meetings, we do script practice. We do review and rehearse. And our script practices may look different than yours, but anything that you can do to prepare yourself for the objection, prepare yourself for the transition
Uh-huh.
from this to the loyalty agreement.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to prepare yourself.
Mhm.
Talk to yourself sometimes in the car. This is what it sounds like.
Mhm.
Oops, I messed up. Let me try it again.
Yeah.
Get a partner amongst yourselves. Find someone who can do it with you.
Uh-huh.
Create the atmosphere that mistakes are allowed in this room. This is a safe room. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to make the mistakes. Better to make mistakes in here than out there. Right? Do it on your drive to work.
Yeah.
How easy is that? You know somebody else is still on the road with you. Just call them and say, hey, I need to practice this script for like 5 minutes. Can you do this with me while I'm driving?
Uh-huh.
Most agents will turn down the radio.
Yeah.
And help you talk through it.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'm available.
Uh-huh.
It'll be good for me too.
Uh-huh.
So call me on your way in
Okay, great.
and we'll do that.
Okay. I want to get your card.
I got it right here. I'll give
Okay,
it to
I'll
you.
get it before we.
Yeah. So this is a really solid goal
I'll do
here
another one.
for you guys to try to do.
Appreciate it.
Add your 10 contacts. 10, 10, 10, right? 10 contacts added, 10 conversations, 10 handwritten notes, 10 home previews per week. The home previews are a little bit more of a challenge this time,
Uh-huh.
just with the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
And there weren't at one point a whole lot of open houses,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
But try to drop into some.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you need to go to the MLS and pull up a neighborhood and just look at all the available homes,
Yeah.
or look at all the ones that sold.
Right.
Familiarize yourself with an area that you're
Uh-huh.
going to concentrate in,
Yeah.
right? I like the Mandeville, Madisonville area. In fact, it's actually more Covington, but I like Covington area. I know the Madisonville area because I'm very close to it, and I worked there for a bank for many years, so I know the area. Easier, that's easy, right? Just become with the areas that you like.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything about every neighborhood, but it will help. That's doing this exercise would be a big help, right?
So that 10, 10, 10, that's every week or every day?
That's every day.
When the home previews per week, is that, I mean,
That's per week, of course.
virtual?
You know, when I say in these times, you got to do what you got to do to
Yeah.
make yourself
Okay.
available, make yourself more familiar with the houses.
Okay,
The goal is for you to just get from contract to closing, right,
Okay.
with your participants. The task here on the slide are activities that need to be done to grow your business. Now, whether or not you do this on a daily basis or you do this on a weekly basis, I would say at a weekly basis at a minimum, you know, to do those things, 10, 10, and 10.
yeah, okay.
Get you a really solid start. And the handwritten notes, that's
Yeah.
big. You don't
Yes.
realize
Uh-huh.
that's big. People don't do handwritten notes these days.
Oh, I know.
Your conversations with your guy, send him a handwritten note.
I thought I was gonna get here early enough to do that.
He'll remember that. And so will the people you talk to. Hey, sorry to bother you that day. I appreciate you taking a few
Right.
moments to.
But didn't you do
Wham,
that,
bam.
Steve? You
I-
No, I went door knocking yesterday. That's
Oh,
what, and I was mentioning to Brian about that.
Uh-huh,
You can use command to track your database health, right? The more information you get on a particular client, name, email, phone number. You'd be surprised how it affects your store if you add an address, add a birthday, right? Add an anniversary, right? Or a home anniversary, when it was they bought their house, and then recognize that when the next year comes by.
yeah.
Hey, happy home anniversary! You bought your house this time last year.
Wow, that's good. I never even thought of that one.
You're welcome. I'll take 5%. Right? So those are all little great tidbits for that. Talk to the people in checkout line. Every cashier that you're walking by lives somewhere, right? When you're buying something, they live somewhere. They're renting or they're paying a mortgage. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
Wear your name tag.
Uh-huh.
Wear your name tag upside down
Uh-huh.
on purpose. I did it by accident, right? Wear it upside down and see who tells you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now the door for conversation is open about real estate.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Uh-huh.
So, scripts.
Now I'm looking at you.
Uh-huh.
Wear it upside down. It's great. Nothing to it. You can read it at least, right? Scripts. Why is it important? I will tell you why it's important. Right? Daily success habits in memorizing and internalizing scripts. You internalize it to the point that you can adjust them on the fly. When you've reviewed so many scripts that you now combine them because the situation calls for you to use the top portion of this script and the bottom portion of this one,
Yeah.
and you could roll with the flow and combine them and make them one, and you never miss a beat.
Right. Uh-huh.
That's going to prepare you for whatever objection they close,
Yeah.
right? Practicing and internalizing these scripts allows your business to grow, allows you to have a conversation, and makes the unplanned conversation in the checkout line allows that conversation to just happen so naturally, right?
Uh-huh.
Just as a doctor learns anatomy before working on patients, agents need to learn scripts to prepare to have meaningful conversations with their clients. You control the conversation by using powerful language that helps you get to the end, which is a closed transaction. They help you communicate your value, right? Once you've internalized the scripts, you can then add your value, which will help you lead generate, right, more effectively and lead to closed deals. They help you uncover motivations, either buyer or seller, and identify objections and their objection handlers so that you can handle them up front. They allow you to have a rehearsed response that delivers a powerful message, right? They'll never know it was rehearsed because it's going to be so profound
Yeah.
and so internalized, it's gonna roll right off your tongue. They'll never know the difference. You're just gonna be that awesome. It allows you to ask questions in a way that they're gonna be able to quickly answer and quickly share the information with you so that you can then move faster and get through it, right? Questions?
You know, the scripts, it's really not that hard, because that script I was telling you about when I went door knocking,
Yeah.
I wrote it down, and on the way to where I was gonna go door knock, I started memorizing it on the way. And by the time I got there, yes, I fumbled through it the first couple of times, but then it started flowing, like you said.
Yep.
They're not real hard. It's not like this, 3-book thing you have to memorize. It's like real short.
Okay. So the next portions of our of our session.
Had a client told me all of his that thing. So I'm back.
All right. Into today's lesson was built in a 30-minute role play session. Won't keep you here for an additional 30 minutes, right? It's 14 minutes before 12. That's when we're gonna end. I will ask you though, please commit to doing some script practice. Whether or not it's with somebody that's already at your home, you call someone to do 5 or 10 minutes worth of script practice, right? Just so the more you practice it, the more it's going to feel natural to you, right? Please make sure you adhere to the do not call lists. You don't want to get a slap on the wrist and get a great big fine, right? Because that will absolutely be on you, right? If you use command and they say stop, or they respond, or they say stop in their text messages, or if they unsubscribe, command will prevent you from emailing them, which is a great safe feature for using command, and it's another reason to use command. Command will not send the email, right? It'll be undeliverable because of that, if they subscribe that way, right? Cool. So you can access the do not call list. Also, the Market Center can help you subscribe to the registry and provide you with the login credentials so that you can double check phone numbers should you need to. You should check before you call. Honor their requests. So when they do the unsubscribe or the stop, that's going to be honored through command. You should be somewhat familiar with some of the state laws and the federal laws, and the participants should only be calling their sphere of influence or referral, so they have permission to call. So as part of this class, that's who you should be reaching out to, is just your sphere, having that conversation with them. Because you should, at this point, have permission to call your own family, right? And some of them you may not want to call, and that's okay. And that's okay. So do not call. Now your lead generation, you should all spend some time this afternoon doing some lead gen, right? At least an hour, if not more. You'll find that a lot of the successful teams and agents lead gen a variety of different ways for a long period of time, right? Sometimes they make phone calls. Sometimes they go face to face. Sometimes they join groups or networking meetings, right? But having conversations, that's what you want to have. Every conversation you have, circle it back around to real estate somehow. Throw in real estate some way or form or fashion, right? And then you can count that as a real estate conversation. If you've had a two-way conversation about real estate, that's a real estate conversation. Yep. Call your people in your phone, start with the A's, go down the list, right? Seems a little daunting, but I bet we all have more than 500 contacts in our phone. I know I do. Start calling them, even if it's people you haven't talked to in a while.
Contacts are people that I've worked with for many years in Lafayette.
They should be the first ones. Maybe they know somebody. Lafayette, you know how hard with the storms that got hit recently?
Right.
They're moving here.
Yeah.
They should be calling you.
Okay. Then I won't eliminate them.
Absolutely not.
And then you can just refer an agent.
Do a
to
referral.
Lafayette. That way you don't have to personally, but you can connect them.
Hey, listen, I can help you find a great agent in that area. Do you want me to help you find someone? It's a referral fee right there, and you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe they're moving here.
Uh-huh. Okay. I won't eliminate them.
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
Doesn't matter where they are,
okay.
where they're moving to. Calling on your scripts.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hate to leave, but I'm gonna have to leave.
It's no problem.
I'm sorry, I don't like doing that. I'd love to hear the rest of it.
I'm trying to wrap it up so you guys can leave at 12.
Okay.
Very informative.
After you do your lead generation, right? Because I know you guys are going to commit to doing that for at least an hour after class. Make sure you update command. Put your notes, put your future tasks, right? Because it's going to alert you that you've got tasks going in.
When you say few, because I thought about it, but I don't know how to do that. So how do you go in? I mean, I see where it says task.
Yes.
But how do I implement where from say I want to contact Brian?
Yes.
How do I make that a task where it shows up? I need to contact Brian.
Okay. You're in command right now.
My internet just slowed down.
All right. Log into command. We're going to walk through it and pull up anybody.
Just texted him and just sent him that. Okay.
Great. So we've got somebody, and I'm just talking because it's recorded.
Right.
So go to your customer profile. Over towards the right is a tab that says tasks. You can click tasks. If there aren't anything current, just below that row of tabs, there is a button that says add task with a plus mark, with a plus sign. Click on it. It's going to open up another window for new task. You can type in and fill in these fields here, right? Task name. I use follow-up a lot. I use home search. Whatever works for you. This is your task, right? Then you're going to select the day or the time that you need to call them, right? If it's a specific time, or if you just need to make sure that it gets done in a particular time of day, as far as it has to get done on Friday. I don't care what time Friday, but it has to get done. Then you can do that. So if you select the calendar, then you can go and choose a future date. You can go a week out, 2 weeks out, a month out, whatever it is. If it's just general follow-up based on whatever it is you got to do. Add your description, right? So add your description in there about whatever is going to remind you of what you need to be doing for that person. Do a home search. You know, it could be something like do a home search in the Mandeville, Madisonville area for a 2-bedroom, 3-bath house, right? Email to this address, right? You can add a hyperlink if you don't need, you don't have to. That's one of the fields you can leave empty. Hit create task. Perfect. Now you've got a future task. On your task page, you're not going to find it, but it will show up
Okay.
to your left.
Awesome. I'll put you in.
Excuse me, see, you've got tasks already,
Yeah.
Are you going
right?
to?
Promote my app. You got a couple things there.
Well, I'm not.
Whatever
Put that
day.
in there. I don't know who put that in there, but I didn't.
It may have been it.
But,
Might have
So on your task, and when the day comes up, it will show up on the task slide, on the task button. So over to the left in that menu, the third option down, if you hover your mouse over it, it says task. You click on that and your task preview screen will show up. It'll show you all the tasks that are either due for the day or past due.
Oh, that's the one I just did.
Unless you select the radio button as a check mark to indicate that you have done it, it's going to remain there forever, right? You do have some other buttons there, other tabs, opportunity tasks there, some completed, archived. You can get into that on your own. Yet, so when you set the task, that's where it's going to show up on the due date that it is due for you to be completed.
Thank you very much.
So if you've got somebody on what I used to call a tickler file, somebody you talk to today who's not ready, they won't be ready for 2 months. and you've gotten permission from them to call and follow up with them in a month, set it up for a month out. And that would be my follow-up task. Follow-up, leave my notes so I know what's going on. Leave good notes in your customer profile so you know why you're following up, what your conversation was a month ago, because I'm certainly not going to remember.
Right.
Right? That's why you leave good detailed notes for yourself so you know what you're supposed to be doing. Then you can go and do whatever it is, have that follow-up conversation. Hey, Mr. Client, we talked a month and a half ago. Just wanted to touch base with you, see if everything was still kind of the same for you guys. Thank you for
so
being here.
much, Brian.
You're very welcome.
It was so informative.
Did you get my card?
I did get your
I
card,
gave her mine.
Steve. And would it be possible to get one of the, we're gonna hand out the wonderful, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the class.
Good.
It was very, very helpful.
Good.
And I'm so sorry to have to,
That's no problem. I'm
to
getting
have
ready to
to
wrap things up.
leave.
I'm gonna let people out.
But, and I'm gonna call you sometime.
That's fine.
Okay,
Good
good.
deal.
Thanks so
Bobby.
much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Question for you. The
So-
Kelly app, for
Bye,
some
Steve.
reason, it took me.
Bye,
out.
Natalie.
What
Have a
is
good day.
You
the
two, I'll see you
username
Monday.
that-
huh?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
what else am I using that for? Do you know? Is it for command as well, you think? Because I don't even know how to like redo it. I didn't know if you knew off the top of your head. If not, it's all good.
I don't. I
I'll
have
find
to
it
go
out.
and look and see what mine might be, so it can give me some indication as to what it should be.
As a reference, yeah. Because it kicked me out a few times. I hadn't noticed it.
Renee, you so far advanced?
Well,
You
I
rocking
should
it.
be.
No, you are.
I've been to enough classes.
You're rocking it.
Thank you. Now I need to rock it with.
I appreciate, I'm gonna let you guys go. I think I've kind of covered everything. You know, there's always help. There's help in command, there's help in connect, there's help in the office. There are people that you can call and or talk to about whatever situations you've got. You know, make your list, make a success list, what to do, what you need to do, that kind of help you keep track. I use the tasks for that, so that I'm making sure I do in command. I use tasks for that, make sure I'm staying where I need to do and following up where.
Wow,
I need
that's
to be.
good. I didn't think about that.
Set them up.
Yep.
Use a calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it does not exist.
Right.
Set your appointments on your calendar so you know. Time block time for lead generation so that you know what you're supposed to be doing. There is an Ignite survey. You are encouraged to do this. If you would like to, you can scan that and go and do that. I can email this to you if you prefer not to do it right now or scan it right now, but
There it is.
Let's see if my phone will do it. This is the first time y'all have a little scanner.
it would be the first time it's shown up. Somebody's shown it.
That's funny. I don't know if I got it, but it should just pop up there. Okay, got it.
Awesome.
This is my cousin. I texted him the app. He just texted me back. He has a photographic memory. I kid you not. First person I ever knew that had that.
And that is the end of class, the end of
Thank
it.
you.
So we had a lot of conversation. We didn't get a chance for you guys to do your role plays, some of your role plays, and some of your script practices in class. And I'm sorry about that yet. I kind of feel like our time was well spent.
Definitely.
And I appreciate all y'all's time.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate you.
call me if you've got any questions. So I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording.